Good evening, or perhaps late afternoon, everyone. I am Septilins, joined by the handsome and wonderful Jag to bring you the Unified Premier League 2021 Summer Edition Semifinals. But before we get into all of that, Jag, how you feeling today, my man?
I'm feeling great. We want to apologize for that delay. We know we were supposed to start a little bit ago. We had something to figure out, how to get those mouse bands all in order. Everything is figured out. We're ready to go with this amazing series, and it's going to be a great night of Valorant, Septilin. So how can you complain with that?
Honestly, I couldn't have said it better. We had a couple of issues, a couple of bumps along the road, but as I always say, as is live production. Those maps, however, we have gotten them figured out. It is going to be Ascent, into Bind, into Haven. I like to call this the holy trilogy of competitive Valorant because I feel these are often the maps we see the most. Jag, Bind, my personal favorite map, but of the three, what are you most excited to see here tonight?
I think I'm excited to see Bind as well. We always see Ascent. That's something that we usually talk about, is that Ascent
Right.
has almost always been picked since it came into the map competitive pool. It's just a map that teams feel really comfortable on, regardless of the side they start on. It's usually when you'll see in all forms of competitive play. But Bind is one I have not seen in a little bit. I've actually usually seen Icebox usually instead. And Haven would be the second map, with Icebox being the decider. But here we don't have that. So it's always great to see something new in the map pool.
In person, I love good gameplay, and I feel like she really gets show off on.
Looks like we're having some issues with production. Fortunately, Subtilance has lost connection, so hopefully we'll get his thoughts in a second. But while we're waiting for him to join back up, I can run you through tonight's matchup. We've got two teams that have been at the top of the standings in their divisions since the beginning of the tournament. Converse Esports coming in first from the Vandal division. OC Esports coming in second in the Fan division, so both of them near the top of standings for a long time. And interestingly enough, Converse actually is entering this with one loss despite finishing in first. UC Davis on the other side of the bracket is the only undefeated team we have left standing. I think they have not lost a map even to this point. So it's going to be a tough competition on the other side of the bracket for BZNZ. But here tonight, OC's only loss was to UC Davis and stuff. Converse lost to Parabellum Esports in week 4, who UC Davis beat in the quarterfinals last week. So there's a lot of crossover. A lot of teams have played each other, but these two teams have not played each other once yet, as they were in different divisions. And I think this is going to be a great matchup. I think that Converse Esports is probably going to have a bit of an edge in this one, just because they do have a little bit of a record. We'll see how that ends up in the end of all things. OC, they're still a great team, and they could play spoiler here in this matchup. But as we wait for Sepulence to reconnect, I'm just waiting to hear from production what the plan is here, because I think might have to wait a little bit. In the meantime, while we're figuring all of that out, there is some great titles coming up for the fall split of UPL. Don't forget to sign up for that. We've got League of Legends, we've got Rainbow Six, we got Rocket League, and of course we got Valorant once more. So if you haven't signed up yet, get your team in these competitions, because there's a prize pool you're going to be playing for. And well, we got a little bit more time to kill. Remember, there's $2,000 on the line in these playoffs. And tonight, these teams will be competing to get into the grand finals, where they can fight for that $1,000 first prize. There's going to be a third place matchup that these teams might qualify for later. But in the meantime, we're going to be taking a short break. We're sorry for all these delays. We'll be bringing you the first map in just a little bit.
Welcome back, everybody. So sorry about that technical error. Unfortunately, as is the way of live production. Hopefully, I'm back for a while. If I'm not, we've got a replacement lined up. Still Septil and Stormy, the wonderful and handsome Jag, and we are very excited to hopefully bring you this broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. While you were gone, I got to walk them through a little bit of the tail of the tape. Two teams still at the top of the standings in different divisions, have never faced each other. One that we haven't even seen on stream once this season, which is crazy considering that it's Converse, who is number one coming out of that Vandal division. This is the first time you, I, or really anyone in the UPL audience is going to be able to see them. And what a time to shine in the semifinals.
Absolutely.
You win this, you go on to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time to put your money where your mouth is, right? The fact that they've made it this far without being on stream is shocking enough as is. Not quite sure how that happened, but now that almost gives them that weird leg up because nobody's had the opportunity to study their gameplay, study what they're going to be bringing to the table. So I am beyond excited. We're going to be jumping into our first map, Ascent, here in just a moment. And Jag, other than a Sova, do you think we're going to be seeing any specific agents here on Ascent?
Well, we've been talking a lot about control agents, and you and I have kind of agreed that Astra, not as strong as she used to be, but I've still seen a lot of teams playing her, which is we're seeing right now. OC already locking her in immediately. So even though she might not be as overpowered as she once was, she is still very, very strong. I think that she's just kind of overtaken Omen. Omen does create a lot of space, a lot of separation, as we actually might see that on the other side from Converse. But Astra just has so much map control, being able to put down all of her abilities. I mean, whether it is just her going in astral form and putting down a gravity well to be disruptive, but more importantly, probably or Nebula, which is going to cause confusion if you run right into that smoke. She is just so good in so many situations.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's definitely something to keep an eye out on as well. I was going to talk about, we might be seeing that KJ, but, it looks like Boom did beat me to the punch of that KJ being brought to the table. I'm a huge fan of the kit that Killjoy brings to the table as a whole. She's going to be able to set up on one site and be present at the other. So it's great to cover all options from the opposing team. And I'm really excited to see, we want to keep an eye out for that Astra, keep an eye out for that KO. A lot of new agents being brought to the table here, especially from OC. So I want to see what comes out of that, if that's going to be able to carry them to a victory here on map one, or maybe it's going to be a little rough as they don't have the opportunity to study these agents as much as others that have been around for longer.
Yeah, and KO's had a pretty rough history, I'd say, so far in this UPL summer split. We've only seen him a few times, and usually not in winning efforts, but I did get to see a little bit more in action this weekend elsewhere. And he was actually played here on Ascent, and he was very, very good, especially if you are the defensive side of the team, which OC Esports is starting as. So they have a leg up when it comes to this defense at the very beginning. But Converse is kind of the opposite. They have an attack side of comp, which is why you go for the Killjoy over something like a Cypher. Her kit is just more versatile overall. So I really think this half is going to be the most important one. I think whoever gets a leg up here probably is going to have a better chance at winning the entirety of the map once halftime hits.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely curious to see what's going to happen here in terms of that KO being online and the Sova being able to bring these recon darts to the table. I want to see if there's going to be great successes off the back of that, or if that Sova is not going to carry perhaps as hard as Converse wants it to.
Already one kill has come in as Boom is taken down. Entry able to find it with that guiding light. Oh. And the defense is just holding so strong right now. They've already gotten a 4v2 advantage.
Yeah, the defense able to find that advantage. Like you said, I want to see what comes off the back of that, a 4-2 matchup. Of course, this is going to be really difficult for Converse to win. And of course, when a team wins the first round, they're expected to win that second round as well. So we're going to have to see if Converse can maybe turn this around. Might know somebody's on logs, but now a Gravity Well going to be pulling Wildfire out at the worst time. Going to be able to get the recon. You've given yourself away at the same time, pushing into a 4v1 with just a ghost to their name. Slowed by that Gravity Well will be taken out. Ricky picks up the double kill, trying to even things. 30 health Jet versus almost two full health agents on the other side. OC Esports, they've almost got this one in the bag, but Ricky trying to rip it right back out of that bag, finds the Sova, might get caught out by the Astra here, however, 30 seconds left online. This might be a round that OC is able to put away just because Converse didn't pull the trigger fast enough.
They did get the spike, though. Actually, Ricky able to just run in and get it. That was the one thing that was stopping Converse really from being able to pull the trigger on a plant, was that they just didn't have the spike in their hands. With 15 seconds left, they've just hightailed it all the way to the other side of the map, all the way to A. This Astra has not really moved. and Ricky's gonna be able to get the plant here.
Yeah, Ricky's going to be able to find the plant, but now you've got to go for that retake if you're on the side of OC Esports. The timer has been reset a little bit. You are booking it from B to A here, but now it looks like Ricky's got this plant on lock, knows they're going to be coming from heaven, as that is the fastest way to get to the point. It's going to be all about that accuracy here. Ricky can't afford to get hit twice. They need to be sure to kill before they even get a bullet fired at them, and here it comes right around the corner. Might be able to miss so many, but no, Ricky finds it! The 4K in the pistol round, able to pick it up early in Converse, a round that looked like it was going to be bleak for them. Looks like is going to be in their favor.
How did Converse win that? How? It's all on Ricky's shoulders there. Gets 4 kills, has only 30 health, doesn't get hit by any of the last people that fired him. Like 3 different people fired at him, no one hit it. He got stuck in not 1, but 2 gravity wells. It was just Path giving up that positioning. I don't know why you didn't hold that angle. You needed to make sure you had eyes on the spike. They didn't even realize it had been picked up. That was the most exciting pistol round I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was, I mean, Ricky, like I said, when Ricky got the 2 kills, I was just trying to hype it up a little bit. Oh, might be able to pop off here, but absolutely did. Now that's going to give Converse almost a bit of an opportunity here to take this second round, but Shrony finds one. No, does not find the kill. Boom, brings the Spectre to the table, turns Shrony away from round 2. Now a 5v4 disadvantage for OC Esports, and if they're able to turn this round around, that'd be great for them moving into round 3.
KO isn't a fall, isn't able to survive. Ricky getting another kill. And I like the play from OC Esports there. They actually try to go very aggressive on their defense because they know they don't have the gun advantage. So there it's like, well, maybe we can just catch them off guard. But a Classic is never going to win a duel with Spectre. And now Converse should have a pretty easy plant. But actually, Shadow Core is going to rotate. It's really low. If they're able to get a silence here, maybe they can get something off of the back of it. But they got to hit that knife on the ground. And already so much damage is being thrown their way.
Yeah, the damage has been done. We're going to have to see what's brought to the table after here. But Ricky, already that player to watch out for, able to find that elimination, picks up a third of the round, but no, will fall to the Classic in the spine. However, Rexo picks up the round win there, giving Converse that 2-point advantage moving into round 3.
That's really all you can ask for on a round where you're saving, where you can only afford frenzies and classics. There is not much expectation of you winning that. You were able to take one out, which is actually much bigger than you might think it is. I'm really not sure what was going on there. It looks like Ricky just, thought the trade was going to be set up, or at least they, had someone right next to them, so they thought they wouldn't fall. But Rex turned around at the wrong time. So unfortunate that your top fragger now can't really buy anything besides a Sheriff. Not only that, they're going to be running into a full buy from OC Esports. They've got Vandals, they've got Phantoms. This is a good chance for them to bring one back.
The round 3 Blade Storm, a personal favorite ability usage on my opinion here. Ricky, however, going to turn the corner, able to get rid of the flash, instantly jumps. Oh, what a shot there onto Shadowcore. Doesn't even get to breathe, and it looks like Ricky will fall early there to entry. The Sky able to tie things up, a 4v4, taking a lot of damage in the process, but living to tell the tale. This might be a good opportunity here for Converse. They're going to go for the door shut, but instead, it's going to be shot back open by Shrony, and now the spike plant comes through. If only that Sky took the risk and fired the bullet to be able to find some great value. The Wolf able to catch out Blitz here around the corner. Shrony picks up Wildfire in the back line. There it is. Blitz finding another kill. Keo picks up Rexo with that Phantom. A 3v2 OC Esports, and they were looking for a round to win. This is the one. Shrony finding that second kill onto Blitz. Might walk face first into Boom, turns their back, and it's going to be Shrony who does pick up that kill onto the KJ. OC Esports finding round 3.
And there's the butterfly knife, one of the newest knives you can get in the game. It's so beautiful, isn't it, Septilence? But
I love it.
Was even more beautiful was OC Esports knowing their advantage, knowing they had better weaponry, and they finally were able to play like it. They finally were able to put a stop to this attack that Converse has had the last 2 rounds, but they still lost 2 people along the way, and I think a big part of it was Ricky's aggressiveness. Ricky only did get 1 kill out of that Blade Storm, but got someone pretty weak after it. I'm pretty sure that's the person who ended up falling next to it. So neither of these teams so far have really had a clean round one. Even when they're winning, they're losing players, they're using economy, and that's why neither economy is stable. I mean, the most credits right now in the game are 2,500 from Keo, which is not really something you'd expect after 3 rounds going on round 4. You'd think one team would have a little bit more stability going into this, but not found just yet.
Yeah, we've got to talk about the fact, I definitely want to focus on before the firefight here that Ricky is in the lead on elims by like 6. I think everybody else on the team has 1. Ricky's currently at 7 or 8. So there's truly, this seems to be one of those teams where it's kind of an atlas of the world carrying the team so far, but maybe Ricky's just had a very good start. We're going to have to wait and see what Converse brings to the table in these later moments. Keo gets some great knowledge there, goes for the wall bang with the Sheriff, even finds a lot of damage, almost confirms the kill, but instead it's going to be that KJ Boom making it out at 16 HP.
Yeah, and there's no way they can get healed up. There's no healer on their team, so they're going to have to live with that for the rest of the round or die by it. Wildfire might be getting themselves into a 1v1. They do have a Leer, so surprised they haven't thrown it out as the Omen Smoke comes in. They're just going to peek the corner, and Wildfire able to get the dismiss off as well. What a play there to open it up for Converse.
So often I talk about the peeker's advantage, but Converse, they found the peeker's advantage on the peeker there, able to get a great opportunity. Ricky finding that kill on a Shadow Core entry, picks up another kill. Shrony finds Ricky there, so all of a sudden a 5v3 turns into a 3v2 in favor of OC Esports. An entry in the bottom here, able to find 3 eliminations. Wildfire versus the world, 150 HP Reyna. You are not going to be able to miss a bullet. A great Leer, but that gives away your location. Now they know you're in heaven. You're going to have to probably rotate to try to keep this round alive. 13 seconds left, not a spike in sight. You've got to go for full-blown elims here.
You've got no time. Even if you get 1 kill, you don't even get that. Entry gets 4. This Sky, 25 health, 4 kills, is able to help carry their teams. You talk about Ricky being the carry on Converse's side. Entry thus far has been amazing in this role. We always talk about this, how Valorant, maybe you've got a more supportive kind of character, but you can still frag out, and this guy is doing exactly that. Sky's kit's so dynamic with the fact that she can flash as well as heal. It's great to have CC and those abilities to keep the rest of your team up. But the way they held that OC Esports was brilliant. You saw they had one looking towards heaven, they had another one on box, and they had one on the rotation, so I just don't think there's any way Converse could win that round.
Yeah, that was, things started off so strong, right? We saw a 5v3 at one point, but the Sky in particular playing Hell so efficiently, so incredibly, kept that alive and turned things around for OC Esports. This at one point was 2-0 OC Esports. They have won that second round, so they have now tied things up here in round 5. I'm going to see, I often say there's some pivotal rounds, some pivotal moments that are going to be opportunities where a team can really turn a fight in a half on its head. This might be OC Esports time.
It might be that indeed. They have brought it back from O2, which isn't exactly the biggest deficit in the world, but still a deficit nonetheless. They're playing this very smart. They're playing it very slow around B, but they're also trying to get mid-control of market in. Path just gave up the perfect positioning. Path had that held, and then immediately walked back. Twice now they've made the same mistake.
The path has been opened, but there it is. Talking about mistakes, Wildfire and Ricky getting a little overzealous. I don't think they expected Shrony to turn around and look for an engagement. The Seekers were out for a moment. I think they got instantly destroyed. So an ultimate OC Esports may want back, but it's not going to cost them anything yet. Now some great fire. Boom picks up Kia with a well-placed headshot, but Shrony looking for the ace. Only one. No! Shadow Core, what are you doing? I know the team was yelling, let ace, but no, Shadow Core steals it. So OC Esports, they've gone from a 2-point deficit to a 1-point lead.
I wanted that ace because of that bet we had on Twitter that if there's an ace, you got to take off an article of clothing. Nothing too extreme. Just,
with no air conditioning, I might need it, man.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, I'm doing you a favor here. But their Converse had a great setup despite not having a good buy. But you're right. They pushed way too aggressively into Shrony instead of trying to set up for a full take. They did get market, but they didn't push in from Garage. And, it doesn't matter if it's a 2v1. If that 2v1 is facing up against a Vandal, that's what happens. OC Esports now. 3 rounds in a row.
3 rounds in a row. I talked about that pivotal opportunity, that pivotal time to turn a fight in your favor. OC Esports, they may have done it. They may have found that prime opportunity to succeed, and it's going to be Rexo with that Owl drone, a little bit of information given, but not nearly enough to confidently push in. You did not get to peek around those boxes. Keep an eye on who's going to be hiding there. We got to also keep an eye. 2 ults versus 1. Both ults on the side of Converse technically non-lethal, right? The Empress certainly helps, but you don't need it to succeed. However, the Blade Storm, that is all about lethality. I'm not even sure that's a word. I might have just made that up, but either way.
It is.
Oh, fantastic. Now I look smart, right? Absolutely. But OC Esports, we're going to keep an eye on that Blade Storm and see if it's going to be what they want to succeed here. They've carried 3 rounds in a row. Do they need the Blade Storm to win a 4th?
No, they really don't. They want to keep that for a rainy day when they can't buy, which might not be for a while because this economy has become very healthy, but Shorty's not even going to have a chance.
Doesn't even matter. Rexo with a very efficient shot there. Going to be a lot of Phantoms here on the side of Converse. I've definitely seen a pattern. No Vandals so far, I think, at all. So it's going to be Phantom across the board here. Converse, however, they have certainly found the opportunity to succeed. Keo, a bit of a hectic electric arrow there, but unfortunately not going to be able to find any kills. A little bit of damage, now spraying that Odin into hell. Knows somebody's down there, but just cannot find the appropriate target. There it is, however. Boom will be taken out. Keo was not going to give up until somebody fell on the side of Converse. 4v2, the spike's been planted, and OC Esports, they are running out of time, that much I'm sure of. However, here comes Wildfire in the back with a very quick and efficient double kill. It might be able to grab the Odin if they want it, but no, we are sticking to the Phantom, the tried and true. Converse tying it up.
What's so impressive there about that play from Wildfires, they didn't even go for the Devour. They didn't want to waste that extra time because that does take a few extra milliseconds to cast. And when you're casting that, you're not firing your gun. So there they go for the spray transfer. They trust their own abilities and it works out. And now we've got a tie ball game once again. I don't think we've seen a game this close in the early rounds so far this UPL season. And that's super exciting. Both these teams have a chance to go to the grand final, but only one of them is able to push through.
That's the scariest thing, right? We are at that point in the bracket where you have come this close to a grand final, a shot at that number one spot. Shrony trying to make it worth it, takes a little bit of damage there, but lives to tell the tale. So it's going to be an operator given up here a little bit on A long as they weren't able to find that shot early. Very difficult to reset up there on A.
I think Rexo there was looking for a landed target with the Owl drone, get a little bit of recon information, maybe pop the Hunter's Fury, chunk them down, get that opening kill, but doesn't land the shot. And Converse once again are going back to mid approach. I've noticed this a few times now where they look to set up to one point, they don't get a default pick, so they just back up and then try to take mid control. Luckily, Shrony is going to get healed up after missing that op shot, but they don't have their dash anymore. So if they miss the next one, they're just going to be a sitting duck.
You beat me to the punch there on that. You made a great observation. That dash is gone. Shrony barely made it out with their life, and now, like, the dash is why an operator goes so well with Jet, right? You can you can op shot and dash your way out. You can no longer do that, and you're 0-2 on op shots right now. But maybe Keo is going to be able to get that, and will get that lockdown. So that's going to be a 1-for-1 ult trade, one that we see pretty often. Now it's going to help Converse, I would say, stay in a very brief advantage. And as I say it, Wildfire meets a bullet up close and personal. Shadow Core giving OC Esports a brief lead, but it's going to be Entry who makes it even larger with not one but two eliminations. Ricky finds Shadow Core on the high ground, but the damage has been done, my friend. 12 seconds left. You've got the spike, but what else do you have? Misses every blade, meets a bullet there thanks to Ricky, who gives out Blade Storm of their own. OC Path trying to find the kill, dashes out, goes for the shots here. We're going to have to back around the corner just a little bit. Ring around the rosy if I've ever seen it. Gonna go for the fake defuse. Ricky jumping into hell, finds one, might be able to find, no, will be taken out by OC Path. That will be another round win for OC Esports.
Bladestorm for Bladestorm, and neither of them get enough in the end to secure the round, but OC Esports is able to hold on. And I think there was just a bit of a misplay from Wildfire. They had done that exact rotation just one round ago, going through the window, trying to take over a heaven, and fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Well, you know the saying there, they were not fooled at all by that. They saw it coming. KO was right there. Shadow Core was right there to shut it down. And it's just so hard to push into a staunch defense comp like this when you're missing Reyna, who is one of your primary damage dealers and also one of your primary CC users when you're able to use that Leer and blind everyone.
The Leer, I personally think, is one of the most effective abilities in the game for an engagement, because not only does it blind them, but they have to look away to shoot the Leer to get rid of it, right? So we need to do that as quickly as possible, and that often is a great way to engage. You go for the Leer, they turn their head, you just poke around the corner and take them out. I think that's something we see very often. We might see that a little bit more here as well. Blitz, however, does not need a Leer. Instead, will find Shadow Core early, giving Converse another 5v4 advantage, but we've seen them lose a couple of rounds where they had the numbers early, so we're going to have to see if this is a round they're able to keep the numbers and find a success afterward.
And I think the smart play here is just walk away. This is not worth it. You do not want to walk into an operator from Shrony. And that's exactly what they're going to do. At least they're not going to go through a main. Looks like they're going to try to go around, maybe try to go through tree, or maybe just hold angles. I think the play here is maybe to hold A. I'm not really sure, honestly. You got one Astra ability out already, but there's still plenty of them around the map. Looks like they're going to go for a split push. They're actually taking the spike towards B. They don't have an Omen teleport, and they're still leaving people around A, so Wildfire's going to do the exact same rotation. They did it again, Septils. You cannot keep doing the same thing.
Is that 3 times in a row?
It is.
I'm sorry, I hate to pick on one player, but that is hectic. That is certainly hectic to see, and it's going to be Ricky able to find that kill onto Keo. Wow, they're going for a pretty aggressive plan here as well on the side of Converse. They get things lined up. They're basically in a 3v3 as their Jet is sub 20 health. We're going to have to see what Converse brings to the table to secure this round win and tie it up once again.
I mean, you do have a Cosmic Divide, but it's going to be really hard to use on a retake here unless you get it right exactly on where the spike is, which you don't know because you have no information right now on this point. But you do have Shrony going around the side, but I mean, you're just losing everyone.
I was just about to say I'm not a huge fan of this close quarters operator gameplay, but Shrony actually finding 2, that's the most kills they've gotten with the op. Those are the only kills they've gotten with the op so far. So, I mean, that is definitely something interesting to consider, is maybe Shrony is a bit of a wild card with this operator. I definitely want to keep an eye on that moving into these later rounds.
Sometimes you just got to go for the close shots. They don't always work out. In this case, they do.
2-for-1
They
trade.
did. And yeah, 2 kills, but still not a round win. It's tied up, and we've just been going back and forth set points. 8 rounds in, we've already had 3 ties thus far. This might be the best game we've seen thus far in Steam. I know I'm hyping it up very early on, but this is just super exciting. Both teams have ultimates, but OC cannot buy, so the economy that they've built up over time is now completely gone, and we've seen Shrony try this before, try to go aggressive when they're down in economy, but this time they're not going to give their life, but they're also not going to find any damage.
Yeah, I want to talk about this again. I talked about this early on. I said, maybe Ricky's just having a good start. No, Ricky is absolutely the carry of Converse so far. Currently at 16 eliminations. I think next in line was either 4 or 6. So we're seeing a very large gap growing. I wonder if OC Esports can just engage and get rid of Ricky early, if they can really start to run away with this, because Ricky seems to be the fight opener, the engager for Converse. Let's see if my words come true right here. About to be in a bit of a 1v1 if Path chooses to go around the corner, but might just be able to constantly keep this mid control.
And here's the thing, though. It is the Jet. And we already talked about how the Jet goes hand in hand with the Operator. That's because they have the highest mobility of any agent in the game. So even if you do corner them, if you're not able to hit that first shot where they flinch and they can't move, they may be able just to kite you, dash out, maybe even updraft somewhere where you can't hit them. There's so many ways to escape uncomfortable situations that you're really never at a disadvantage. And because of how long Converse has taken one thing and they've completely flipped the map, OC is scrambling and the spike is planted.
Yeah, the spike planted once again. I feel Converse chooses the most, I'm going to use the word unique, the most unique times to plant the spike and find these opportunities. And it seems to work out, about 50-50, right? We're sitting at a 4-4. And speaking of 50-50, there's a 1-for-1 trade coming through. But as I say it, Converse finds 3 in a row there. So OC Esports, they found one to tie things up, and then they did not get to play the game any longer there in round 9. Now jumping into round 10, Jag, do we see it again? Are we going to have a 5-5?
They can buy again, so that's one thing, but I'm really intrigued to see how OC uses their ultimates. I know they have used Seekers already, I believe once, but they've been holding on to this Cosmic Divide forever, and they've also been holding on to the Null Command. And I get holding on to the Null Command because it's kind of a boom or bust. You really only want to use it when you think you're going to die. Otherwise, it's just a wasted ultimate. But this Cosmic Divide, it could really help stop an attacking push. And right now, Converse, they've just been like, we're going to go all in or we're going to play around and wait. And now they're going to go all in. So this would be the time for a Cosmic Divide, but it's not coming out just yet.
Yeah, speaking of all in, Ricky there putting all of their cards on the table. I mean, they just charged in, kicked the door down and looked for some kills, was able to find a 1-for-1 trade, but now Converse, they're on the 1-player deficit. They're committing an Empress here in round 10. They want to give themselves a 2-point advantage. Wildfire picks it up, finds the spike, gets things lined up here. Rexo puts OC Path away, but Keo finds that equalizing kill once again. OC Esports, they have the lead advantage. Boom, gets rid of that recharge coming out from Shadow Core here, and it's going to be 111 health KJ versus the world right now. Gets flashed in hell, and that's all the information they needed. Keo from above will put Boom back into the round. Loss there. Tied up once again, 5-5.
Yep, KO gets res, so that's less economy that OC has to spend. They did not use the Cosmic Divide there, which I thought was something they really should have used, but they didn't need it at the very end of the day. So overall, a pretty good round win. They also got Converse to commit just a little bit there. And now we're tied up. So my prediction came true. It's 5-5, and it just seems like we're going to be going like that the entirety of the time. And this was the thing we talked about right before we started, right? That these comps were made for the size they're on now. So as we get closer and closer to halftime, what's going to happen when it's not the ideal side, when you're playing a defensive comp on offense? I don't know. I think there you're going to see less of the composition that they chose and more of the mechanical skill come out. And when you got a team like Converse that's really being carried by one person, by Ricky, that might actually play as a disadvantage to them.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the first things out of your mouth here on Ascent, right? You said these teams, it's all about the first half. It's all about who finds that lead, that advantage. But they're tied. It hardly matters. Nobody has that advantage. We're going to have to see which of these teams performs better at their worst than they do at their best. Because like you said, these comps, they're built for the sides they're on right now. So everybody is theoretically playing at their best. But when we swap, everybody's theoretically at their worst. We're really going to have to see what that means for these teams in that second half. Rexo with a very early Hunter's Fury. We're going to have to see what's brought to the table. With that instead, almost nothing. Almost found the KO, a very lucky elimination, but you didn't find him. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend, and a hand grenade that was not. So we want to keep an eye out. Does that KO find any value for the rest of the round, or was the job settled with that Hunter's Fury?
And Converse does have the Omen teleport, so they don't have the spike right now. Actually, the spike is down, so this is interesting. Spike is actually back to attack respawn, so they might be able to push point. Now they're going to use the Omen teleport, try to get some information on B. They've been destroyed. It's like, oh, there's people there, but that spike has now finally been picked up. It looks like they're going to be going towards A, knowing that there was someone near Boathouse. So this is very interesting. Converse, again, playing it very slow. Like you said, that KO is very weak, so this is a bit of an advantage. And just
There it is.
the shock dart probably would have gotten the kill, but Ricky said, nope, got to improve that KDA.
As if Ricky needs to improve the KDA. Anybody else in lobby, I'm on board, but Ricky right now just top of the leaderboard by a country mile. There's another one to pad those stats. Entry does pick up Rexo. Blitz finds a great elimination onto Entry. Now it's a 42 health Astra. I feel we've been in this position so many times where it's one player at critical condition and they just cannot do a darn thing. Converse, they are going to find themselves up 6-5. Now I've got to say it, if they win this round, I think that is a good omen, no pun intended. I think that is a good omen for them going into the second half.
Absolutely agree. I mean, even a 2-round lead at this point would be impressive considering that it's been tied the entire time. And as we go into a tactical pause, we got a little bit more time to talk about this. 1 minute exactly. What was the one thing that we still have not seen from OC Esports? And I'd mentioned it before, so hopefully you were paying attention, Septilence. I believe in you.
I assume you're referencing Cosmic Divide here, that this Astra has been sitting on for a long time. And Cosmic Divide, I mean, you're it's an engagement ultimate, right? I mean, that you can't see through it, you can't shoot through it, you can't hear through it. That's a great way to get in. If they can't see or hear or shoot you, I mean, come on. That's the best way to engage.
Yeah, and usually you'll see it on the attacking side. They'll play it around A lot, where they'll basically just use it on Heaven, so it completely cuts it off the defender's sightline. But why not do the same thing for yourself? If you have it, and you know that you're getting pressured out, and you know the spike's been planted on that site already, why not just use it so it gives time to regroup, it lets you stabilize, and then you can go around tree, or maybe you just wait for them in that position, and then you just rain down hell from above.
Yeah.
They just didn't use it. They still haven't used it, and now this is the last opportunity for them to use it before halftime. So I think if we're going to see any ultimate, it has to be that one. It has to be quick. It has to be decisive, because when is it going to be otherwise?
Right. Absolutely. And you used a great word there just a moment ago, Jag. You said regroup. And that's something that Converse, I feel, has been very strong at, where OC Esports, I feel like we're not seeing that same engagement. They are often split between the 2 points, or maybe they're rushing in a little bit late. And I think if they were able to group up just a little bit more, they could find some great value and some great success in the early half of these rounds. Now, Droney has the Blade Storm, almost seems to know somebody is hiding around that corner, but Wildfire, if they're just a little bit faster to the draw, I'm honestly not sure how Shrony knows, but the flash gets interrupted by Blitz. That is huge. So instead, give a Blitz location, not positive if Wildfire's still in the corner here, but Shrony playing the long game, patient as ever. Here comes an engagement, smoke, and it's going to be, who's it going to be? Wildfire picks up the kill onto Shrony. That Blade Storm down the drain.
Both teams use them, and again, it's Converse that might get more value out of their Blade Storm at the end of the day. Hasn't gotten as much use yet, as they use the lockdown to completely clear out A. And I was looking at all those things, and I'm like, man, am I watching League of Legends right now? What is going on?
I want to see what comes off of that elimination. They find a great elim early. Not only the Jet, the Blade Storm is gone. Converse, they've got the 5v4 advantage. They've got the numbers. They don't have the ults technically, right? They've got a Blade Storm online, but they're going to have to go with the Astra here. The Cosmic Divide, that's a great way to turn this round around. I said that already, but I'll say it again. That's a great way to turn the round around. OC Esports, they use the wall. They split the point clean in half. Like this. Here it comes, splitting the point clean in half, and you just storm in. You barnstorm this right now. Try to find even one elim makes this all worth it. This is going to be the time to shine, but Wildfire is the one to find that elim instead.
Oh, they were suppressed in hell, but I don't think there's any way for them to follow up on this. There is not. They didn't move quick enough. They didn't position themselves well enough. And that's the thing. With the Cosmic Divide, you have to do it, a little bit more, I would say, aggressively in that scenario.
I agree.
It's the last round. At that point, you're already down a person. You're playing for the flank, really. You saw that Entry was on the flank, but they should have not been the person that was on it. It really should have been someone else. I'm not sure who in that scenario. Maybe you go for the KO, because they can go for a silence or a fragment and then get the flash. But you really want Entry to be there with the rest of the team so they can heal people up if they get weak. But then you lose your healer. It's a 3v5. You're just throwing everybody on point, trying to find something. They couldn't. In Converse now, 2-round lead. They have it once more. This is the biggest lead we've seen either team have the entirety of this map so far.
Which is absurd. Yeah, which is absolutely bonkers. I mean, the last game, the game we saw last week, there was at one point, I think, a 7 or 8 round lead, right? And this game has been so close, we haven't been able to get over 2. a 2-round advantage. Now, we're going to jump into the pistol round. Both these teams, theoretically, at a disadvantage. Their comps are built to be on the other side. And like I said, it's going to come down to which of these teams brings the heat a little more effectively when they are at the disadvantage. Now, Shrony, not going to be the one to do that early on here. Shadowcore does find that equalizing kill. Rexo finds another one clean away. Almost falls to OC Path, but Path will be the one to go down instead with the spike, no less. Keo picks up the kill. Wildfire able to find that equalizer again. Entry's going to need a 4K. This is looking bleak here for OC Esports. They might fall not down by 2, but down by 3. Entry cannot do enough. Ricky padding that KD once again.
And again, this is just not what you want from your Sky player. You really want them to be playing on you with the rest of the team. I would say them and Sage are probably the most integral characters, agents that you want playing with your main core, just because of those healing abilities, because of those abilities to help get your team in with your flashes. But they're just going for those big brain flanks that unfortunately don't prove to be that big brain at the end of the day. It happens sometimes you just get split naturally because of the way the round develops. But there, it looks like they were trying to rush in as a team. Then it fell apart because they lost the first pick. I think they got to tell Shrony just to chill out a little bit. They keep going for these really crazy updrafts, and then they're like, bouncing off the ceilings, and they're falling, and then they're getting flashed, and they're dying. So it's a flashy play, and it looks really cool, and it can work out, but you need the rest of the team to back you up on them.
I think Shrony is trying to play like Ricky. I think Shrony is getting a little bit, I don't want to say mentally boomed, but I think they're trying to play on par with the way Ricky is bringing Jet to the table. And that is clearly hurting them much more than it's helping them. I mean, this might be the first flawless round we've seen. I talked about, there it is. I talked about if they were able to go into halftime 7-5, that Converse would be in a great spot, a great opportunity for the second half. And so far, they have just proven that point, winning 2 rounds in a row. And if they win the third in a row, I think we might see a world where OC Esports get 13-5 tier on Ascent.
That's how this game works. Momentum can make you or break you. Now, there is an opportunity for OC to come back because now they can't buy. So this is a very important round for them. But like you said, if Converse does win this, if they do get the Thrifty, I think that will just kill any chance OC has on this map. Already, they've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit. 4 rounds in a row they've now lost, which, it is the halftime swaps is a little bit different. It's not 4 rounds where you've got your economy in check. It's a different part of the game, but still, it's not where you want to be after having a game played so close up until this point.
This is feeling, I hate to use the word bleak because there's so much time for OC Esports to turn this around, but Converse, they're about to hit double digits. They're about to double a score that at one point was tied up. OC Esports, I feel they've really lost their footing. I feel they're really struggling to re-engage here on the offense with a defensive built team, like we've said so many times before, but Converse, They almost seem to be doing better on defense, which is weird because their team seems to be built for the offense.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Mechanics can just come in and they can come in clutch. And while Ricky was, kind of putting everyone at ease for quite a while, the rest of the team really has stepped up here now that they've swapped sides. And when we saw that Rexo was just fragging out with that Ares, they still have it in their possession. And even though there's a gun advantage for OC, they just played it so slow. You can tell, they don't feel confident. They're not sure what to do.
Right.
Now they're going to try to play mid around A-ish, but they've already given up so much time. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock.
That's honestly insane. This is a long round that we haven't seen a first blood at all. Now here comes Shrony trying to be the hero. This time might actually be one. Able to find that kill onto Rexo early, but boom, with the 2-for-2 trade there. Entry will be able to find that confirmation kill, but OC Esports looks like they have found their footing here finally in round 14. No.
I like round 15.
15.
Yeah. Quick math. We're not good at it, folks.
I'm not good at it, folks. You know that. We know that.
Neither am I, yeah. But unfortunately for Converse, they lost Rexo really quickly because he had his arrow out, so he was trying to find some recon and immediately got run up on. So that slow rotation at the end by OC actually paid off because it completely caught everyone else off guard, and now it's going to be a 1v2.
Speaking of catching people off guard, I think Wildfire certainly was just. I mean, they turned the corner, they go for the one Elam, but they turned the complete wrong direction, met a bullet relatively quickly, and that gave OC Esports another round win, the first in what feels like a while, considering it was, 4 rounds that they weren't able to find a win there.
Now they can reset, they can breathe a little bit. It's not time to hit the panic button just yet. Like you said, there's still plenty of time to come back from, but what I'm most worried about is the fact that Shadowcore cannot buy. It looks like someone had to buy for them, so that economy that they had, they were able to build up after losing a few rounds, just kind of went down the drain because of that. Someone's going for light armor, and I think it's actually the person who is the top fragger on their team right now. That's not great. You want to have the person who's getting the most kills usually having the most protection.
You say that that's one of those like just have heavy armor forehead situations, but maybe they've got a strategy behind it. I agree. You usually want to have that top fragger with the most health, so they have the opportunity to fire bullets the most, obviously, and take the most damage. But instead, they choose to have a little bit of light armor. I want to see what that does for the engagement early on. I want to see what Boom finds off of this. Almost being caught out by a seeker. No, excuse me, did get caught out by a seeker. So that is going to be rough now, especially I'm actually going to change what I was going to say entirely. OC Esports, they're already starting to look a wee bit predictable. They just gave us the almost exact same engagement there 2 rounds in a row, and it worked. You got to the spike plant phase, but you're going to have to make it a little bit further.
You lose one. Now the lockdown is coming in. You get another one. Wildfire's on this flank, is not being predictable at all after doing the same thing a few times a few rounds ago. Now it's Path, who is just completely zoned off of the point. There's no way they can win this. They're about to be run down by 2 people. Boom gets the last one. And boom goes the dynamite. It's going to be another round for Converse. Double digits finally achieved for one of these teams. Converse able to hold on to that 4-round lead, the biggest one, again, that we've seen so far in this series. But it's not even about the round differential at this point. It's about how many rounds are needed now by Converse. Only
of course. Yeah, of course. It's no longer about how many rounds separate the team. It's about how many Converse needs to succeed to win Ascent. That's only 3 rounds. We saw them win 4 in a row earlier. We know they're capable. And Ricky, if they can find their footing like they have almost every round so far, currently 10 eliminations higher than the second place in lobby entry is the next one who has 15. Ricky sitting at 25. So clearly, I mean, there is a KD leader here in this lobby, and it's going to come down to what Ricky brings to the table here in what could be these final rounds.
Could be indeed. Let's see how this opens up. Wildfire again playing very aggressive. Finds one. And that might be all that's needed. The Empress is online too, so they could go for that. Hunter's Fury online for OC, but it's not going to be very valuable unless they can get the spike planted in. I think that's a smart move. They looked at A. Maybe they're going to go back to A. It looks like they are. I was going to say, I think honestly backing out here would be good. And Boom is going to have a free sightline.
Oh, that's a 2-for-1 trade. Blitz able to pick up Shadow Core. Oh, finds KO as well. I didn't even get to finish my sentence before that round again ends in favor of Converse. So they have found themselves up by 5 at this point. That makes them only 2 short. We could be looking at the start of our penultimate round here, folks.
Could be. I think they're OC Esports. They can't buy, so they know they have to go for a late buy there. They don't really have any ultimates except for Hunter's Fury either. So there, I mean, either you commit or you back out. You cannot play that half-heartedly. There you saw it looks like they were going to run in, but then they kind of were indecisive. They decided to back out, and it gave Boom plenty of time to set up in that corner, completely undetected. It gave Blitz time to rotate through tree, so they were completely pincered. There was no chance for them to really do anything there.
Absolutely. There was no chance to get the magic done. Now, it's going to be pretty aggressive here. Wildfire again finds that opening frag. Does take down Shrony, but OC Path immediately makes it a 2-for-1 trade in favor of OC Esports. They're ready to go down, but they will go down swinging. If they're able to get up to 7, they might be able to carry that momentum into further rounds. The plan will come through that is guaranteed extra credits or additional credits in the following round here. But OC Esports, they have to play defense out of their absolute minds in order to succeed here in round 17, 18.
And I think they know that. That's why they're using the Cosmic Divide here a lot quicker than they did the last time around. It's already out. It's cutting off the point completely. Ricky's going to try to find something, but there's no one off the point. No one is playing in Garage. Everyone is playing either in Boathouse or on the point. So this is a very stronghold, I would say, coming out for most esports. But the worry here is that that's the worry. So once it's broken down, it's very easy for Converse to go in.
Absolutely, Converse, like you said, they might have found that opportunity, but instead it's going to be Entry who finds a 3K blink and you miss it, picks up 3 in just a matter of seconds, securing another round win for OC Esports. Now that's going to be another round that OC Esports found, but they can't keep doing this 2-for-1 trade, or Converse obviously wins, just mathematically speaking.
What do you do here right now if you're OC? You have to go for a judge on Shrony, so that's one, not super great. You don't have the Blade Storms, you can't just have them use that as a weapon. You have the Hunter's Fury, but you can't really use that until you plant the Spike, or maybe you get the Owl Drone or a Recon Bolt Stick. And you really don't want to use Seekers unless you know there's someone there. So everything that they want right now is based on just aggressively taking a point or going for Recon, and they're going to go aggressively onto a point.
Oh, I get so anxious every time Shrony does that. It literally has not worked a single time. They're so desperate to find these great kills on the Jet, but unfortunately, it has just not been the way the cookie crumbles so far. Converse, they're down in a 5v3. OC Esports, they may have found the lion's share of the momentum moving into this round. This might be a great opportunity, but the Hunter's Fury going to catch this KJ in the corner. She's got absolutely nowhere to run, and oh, Shrony picks up Ricky, the Hunter's Fury, not even the one to confirm that kill. Boom finds Shrony, able to do something for the economy on the way out, but a 2v4 the spike has been planted. Converse, they are looking for the retake.
I don't think there is a retake. I think they're just going to back
I
out
don't
of
think
this.
there is either.
They have a big enough round lead. Oh, Wildfire almost gets taken out. They have a big enough round lead that they don't really have to panic it. They don't have to hit the go button. They can just try to find a
No
few exit
shot.
frags.
No shot.
Boom could get the
ace. I don't even care if you lose the round. Give me the ace. I want to see. Oh, I'm devastated. Okay, Shadow Core does find the kill onto Boom, so no ace in sight. Wildfire has an off, probably going to go for a save. Oh, amazing shot. So the economy essentially completely reset. One player on both sides survives. Everybody else has to go for a full reset on the buy.
Yeah, and a lot of people cannot afford a full buy, especially on the side of Converse, but they are going to go for the force here. It looks like Boom is going to be the one left without a full weapon. Maybe they get a Spectre given to them by Blitz. I'm not sure yet. There it is.
Wow.
But here's the
big
thing.
Brain.
Yeah, here's the thing about the play from Shrony. It did not get kills, but what did it do? It forced everyone that was on B either all the way back into Boathouse or all the way back into their spawn side because they're so scared of the pressure the judge can offer. So you're playing more as bait, but it worked.
Yeah, absolutely, and that just terrifies me because I've yet to see that work out well for Shrony, especially with a judge. I was on the edge of my seat with that one, but that did work out eventually for OC Esports. They have closed what was once a 5-round lead, brought it all the way down to 3, so they're going to be able to possibly turn this around. If they find this one, that'll really be the pivotal moment. They can flip the script and turn things around here on Ascent. They might be able to force overtime. They might be able to win 13-11. Who knows? But no, it is Wildfire with that first elimination. The Vandal going to be coming through onto Shrony. The Jet taken offline. The Spike planted. So the location given away in the lockdown. That is such a popular spot, but an effective one at that. No Hunter's Fury to take it down. The point will be cracked wide open here for Converse.
Yeah, and realistically, Converse only has to use maybe one more ult at best because they find out the entry who's trying to go on the flank, so they might just go for the defusal here. It looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They can hold on to the rest of these ultimates because they're already up. And they're just going for the defuse.
Smart.
No one... Oh, they didn't get it!
No way! Oh, Path and Entry able to find 3 kills in less than a second. It is going to be down to Ricky with an Operator. Just cannot do enough. 46 HP. Around almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed for Converse and OC Esports. They wait until the last possible moment to turn it around. They have brought us to a 2-round deficit.
Making me eat my words right here on the stream.
Amazing.
I was like, Converse has got this. They don't need to use anything else. I think the only ultimate they really could have used there anyway maybe was Hunter's Fury just to create space to stop anyone from trying to come in main. But they just didn't check their flank. Entry was completely frozen up, but instead of going for that kill, they decided
caught by the lockdown.
Yeah, decided to play on point instead of going for the lockdown kills, which makes sense in retrospect, but like in hindsight, maybe not so much. And now Converse can't buy. This is winnable. OC Esports, They might have found the way back in.
Ricky needs to absolutely carry. I'm talking top frag out of his mind here to keep Converse in the lead, to guarantee they can keep that point differential separated. I'm terrified to see what is brought to the table here for Converse. OC Esports, I still can't believe they turned that around. And speaking of turning things around, Entry is not looking to stop anytime soon. Picks up Ricky. The Bladestorm is gone. You've got an Empress, you've got a Hunter's Fury, but you're still staring a Bladestorm and a full roster in the face on the opposing side. You need at least 1 kill to equalize.
I don't know if there's any way you can really find it because you can't buy. So OC Esports, they've got the advantage right now in guns. And they don't really have to use any ultimates. They know they can hold on to the Bladestorm of their own for a rainy day, which would be basically next round if they lose this one. But they have all the momentum. They have all the positioning they could really need right now. We'll see how it all comes down. But Wildfire, it's just you're not going to be able to find anything there with the Sheriff at that angle.
That was clean, though. Credit where credit is due. Path hit a wild shot there. That was very effective, able to get things lined up. Now, we talked about finding your way back in. Converse getting incredibly lucky. Blitz with the wallbang headshot, I believe. Picks up that kill onto the sky, all healing off the table. Blitz finding another, the Sheriff. There is a new Sheriff in town, my friends, but that Sheriff will have to be sent to the graveyard, unfortunately. KO picks it up with that shock dart. This is going to be a 2v2 to the highest degree. A Sova alive on both sides. Some recon available on both as well. Playing slow and steady. You've got the Sheriffs, but you cannot miss those shots. No, it's Shadow Core from behind, able to find one, but it will be Keo with, that's got to be his 5th or 6th wallbang kill through heaven or hell. OC Esports, they have almost tied us back up.
That's just a gun diff. You cannot take that trade at all if you're Converse, unfortunately. I think the play there would have been to rotate through tree and see if maybe you can find a flank, but they didn't go for that. Even though they got kills, they could not get any of the weapons because everyone that died from OC, they died on point around their teammates. There's no way you can try to pick something up that would be better in a firefight like that. So even though Converse was able to find a great thrifty round, it's not enough to get the round win. And OC Esports were one away from possibly going to overtime.
I mean, we need one of these teams to just win, Forehead, and there it is. Shrony, you gotta stop being the hero. I've said it 100 times. Looks like I'm gonna have to say it 100 more. This Jet gameplay is such a risk for OC Esports. You're so close to turning this around, but now you've gone to the extent of losing your Jet immediately. Shadowcore, luckily enough, is able to turn it around. The divide will come through, the Cosmic Divide separating the point. Boom is gonna go toward logs, might be able to find something. It's going to come down to this next elimination that really cracks this fight wide open. And there it is, Keo with another wallbang. Just the wallbang master at this point picks up Blitz, and a round that I thought was guaranteed a loss for OC Esports after a sloppy start may end in their favor after all.
It does, and they still have the null command, so if they feel like they're at risk, no, they're not at risk. It's only Ricky. Ricky, though, has popped off. Ricky gets 2, but it's not enough. And I lied. It's not going to be a draw. I thought it was going to be 12-12. So that's my bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's only 11-11. So OC Esports can still win this pretty cleanly. If they're able to win the next 2 in a row, that's no need for OT. But if both teams get to 12-12, well, that's going to be basically a brand new game set. But we're not there just yet. It is looking like the OC Esports should get to 12 rounds here because Converse now cannot buy anything. They do not have any ultimates. They have nothing at their disposal right now. They've got to save everything for the next round. It's not do or die just yet, but they had a big lead, 5 rounds. They were so close to closing it out, and it's all fallen apart.
Yeah, and I've got to talk about the fact that at one point Ricky was 10 eliminations in the lead. Now that has been shrunk down to 3. So Ricky has had a very rough second half here. And other than that last round, it was separated by 1 elim. But the double kill right at the end does keep Ricky in the lead on the leaderboard entry. The Sky player on the other side on OC Esports currently sitting at 25 eliminations. Really starting to make a difference here for OC Esports.
Yep, OC is able to find 1. They're able to find 2, and this point is completely open for the taking now. There's just nothing really Converse can do. They do get 1 kill there, able to trade out the Stinger for the Phantom.
Gravity Whale.
There's no Empress, though, so I don't know how much Wildfire realistically can do here. Gets 2.
No way.
Can Converse turn this around?
No! Oh, man. No, it's going to be Path instead. Just tearing it absolutely up. Able to find, I believe, a 3K there. Entry found the other 2. And OC Esports, they have, talk about clawing back from the jaws of defeat. They have turned around, found some great value, and Converse are now in a 1-point deficit. They were up by 5 at one point.
And it doesn't surprise me that this is kind of the end game round score that we have. It's just really surprising how we got there because as you see 4 rounds in a row at one point for Converse. And then I believe this is now 5 or 6. I think this is now 6 rounds in a row for OC Esports. So yeah, they have really stepped up their game. They still have 100 Fury to boot. So their win condition really is just plant, set up your Sobas to make sure he can ult later on, try to get some point control early. And this round should be a breeze, but Converse, we know what they can do. We know they can fight back from this.
Yeah, and I want to see I talked about right at the start, OC Esports, they're showing their hand a little early. They're pushing A every time, but we've seen they're just as successful on B, and that is moderately terrifying. Now, Ricky picks up an elim onto Shrony, gets traded out straight away, so Converse, they will stay in that deficit. Getting worse and worse. Keo picks up that second kill. 46 HP, might be able to get 1 kill. Rexo with some great accuracy, a wallbang kill onto Keo, so it's going to be a 1-player disadvantage, but OC Esports, they're going to have the numbers and the opportunity to push right into B. They might get caught out a little bit, taking a wee bit of damage, but they still get that spike plant. Now we're going to see Converse forced into a 2v3 retake.
Yeah, the Nanoswarm comes out, so it does a little bit of damage, but this is why you have a Sky on your side. The Regrowth comes in, everyone gets healed up. Now everyone is in the back of Boathouse. You find one through the wall, but Seabim's looking the wrong way. It's a 2v1.
Path doesn't know, but it's going to be Path able to find that kill onto Boom. And honestly, folks, just a round of absolute applause. It looks like my webcam has failed again, but no worries. I'm still here. You know, just you have to stare at that picture of me. I'm so sorry. But either way, that's just a great opportunity. They claw back from the jaws of defeat. They find a great win, a great opportunity to succeed there at the end. And now it's going to be all about what they bring to the table in the second map. Does something so close turn all the way into a 2-0, excuse me?
I gotta say, I'm just looking at this new picture that's been brought up for you by production.
That's to me.
It's very, very handsome.
Thank you. That's me as a supervillain.
All right. Well, we know what side you align on then in the fight between good and evil, but we do not know how this match is going to go. Like you said, this could be a 2-0, a little bit of an upset by OC, a great comeback, or can Converse force the map 3? We're going to find out after this short break. Jump anywhere because map number 2 Bind is coming up just after this.
Welcome back, my friends. A very short break, but one that needed to be done nonetheless. We're going to be jumping into map 2 in just a minute here. It's going to be, as we both talked about, the map we are both excited to see the most tonight. It's going to be Bind, my personal favorite map in the game. I love Raze. I hope to see her here because I love the showstopper. Personal favorite ultimate. Jag, what are you looking forward to here on Bind? Oh, Jag's mic may have been muted. Get
There we
pranked,
go.
everyone. He was bringing
All
up some
right.
great points about KO and how KO is probably not going to work here on Bind.
Yeah. At least you could hear me, Septilance, but unfortunately the audience could not. We're just having a lot of fun here tonight. Just when you have that many tech issues, you might as well have all the tech issues. But
We
yeah,
have fun here.
I don't think KO is going to work here, and as you see, no one's going to be picking it. I was going to say I think Viper is going to be pretty good here. We've already seen one team lock it in. Boom, looks like they were hovering it for a second. But one thing that isn't related to characters that I want to talk about is Ricky, because we got to hear from our production staff that Ricky was one away from having a 30 bomb. So Converse, that was really the star and the shining knight for them. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to get across the finish line. So I think Converse here as a team just has to play a little bit better. They have to get find a
Absolutely.
way to enable the rest of their team so they can also get into the kills. And I think
Sure.
Wildfire really is that other solution. You said you wanted to see a Raze. We're going to see a mirror
Two of
of
them.
that on the other side, but Wildfire really has to win this duel out early on.
Yeah, and I just very quickly, completely unrelated to anything, I would say that is the fastest I have ever seen two teams pick agents. That was
They're ready to
almost
go.
instantaneous. They are ready to go. We are jumping in. Not only am I excited to see Raze, I'm excited to see Cypher. When I pretend I can play this game, I play Cypher. I think he's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see that Viper as well. I believe that Shrony on the Viper, so I'm not surprised to see that same player picking another kind of top fragger agent, if you will.
Yeah, but it's interesting because OC has decided not to go with a double duel setup, which is usually what you would see in a map like Bind. Instead, they want to go with the Viper as well as the Sova, which surprises me quite a bit. I feel like Sova isn't as good here.
I
Yes,
don't like
maybe you
Soba
can get
here.
some site information, but the bounce ability of the recon bolt and the shock dart, there isn't as many places to go, especially
Right.
if you're on attack like you are now. Like you just got to send that bad boy, and that's what's going to happen. Yep, there it is, all the way in, and it's going to get broken immediately. And that's
Immediately
exactly why I
destroyed.
don't like Sova.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I'm not a big fan of Silva personally, just because I don't like the guy. That's more of a personal thing than it is a
I don't
technical thing.
understand
But
that.
I want to see kind of what they think they're going to be doing with Silva here on Bind. There's really not, like you said, there's nowhere to bounce these arrows. You're just going to have to be Hail Marrying every single one, and I want to see if that's going to be good for them. Instead, Ricky on the jet once again finds that kill onto OC Path with a Frenzy. Looks like he might be able to find two, able to pick up Shrony there. Shadow Core falls to Rexo, who's now on the sky. We're seeing a lot of players swap agents, can bring some different matchups to the table. Keo almost finds the kill onto Ricky, but instead they get full-blown flawless by Converse here in round one. This team, they are coming back hot and ready for vengeance.
And those are two first round wins for Converse, but the way they were done were completely different. This time, it was flawless. Last time, it was by the skin of Ricky's teeth. Amazing play. If you didn't see it, some of the clip is on Twitter right now, so go check that out on the UAE Premier Twitter. Follow them, get them a like, send them some love, send us some love there as well. We love to see it. But regardless, it is a great round. It's a great way for Converse to start, especially after giving up so much momentum in the previous map after dropping that huge lead. And now they're going to have Spectres, and they should be able to run in and take a pretty good fight here. But they're on the defense. They're actually not going to run in at all.
On the defense, definitely keeping an eye out there. And speaking of keeping an eye out for things, if you guys want to keep an eye out on what is going to be brought to the table here in this round, this is the round that is expected to win by Converse. They want to take this one away, but Keo has a lot to say about that, picking up a double kill there with the classic. It's going to be Ricky, dashes straight back, but when you've got nowhere to run, dashing is not going to do a darn thing for you. Keo picking up that third elimination.
Could be an ace. It really could be. And I
Please,
know you and I
let
have
ace,
been
let ace, let
waiting
ace.
for it, but we'll have to see. Wildfire, full health, as well as a Spectre are going to take some damage from the shock dart. It's not going to be enough to take them down, but it will do some splash damage. It's a very interesting decision right now that Converse is trying to go for, because there are so many people weak on the other side, as there it is. Wildfire able to take out Shrony. They're going for the pincer approach, but they have really no way to mitigate where everyone else is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, Wildfire able to find that kill. And, oh, it's not quite going to be an ace, but it's going to be a thrifty, a statistical anomaly, if you will. OC Esports taking round two.
It was just such an aggressive push by OC, and no one was expecting it. I mean, you saw there, Ricky was caught off guard. They had to try to dash away. I mean, they knew people were right around the corner. They saw the paint cans being thrown their way, but it was a full team they were walking into, and I think there Ricky just could not pick a target. Unfortunately, the crosshair went a little bit wild. They dashed out, couldn't set up for another shot. They were taken down, and once Ricky is off the table, Converse really just cannot fight toe to toe. Talked about Wildfire having to put in a statement early on. They are, but it's still not enough to stop what should have been a round for Converse. Now, OC, not only did they get that round, they also get the bonus round right here.
Yeah, this is. I can't wait to see if OC snatches a victory, a win this early on. If they can find a kill here, they can guarantee a second round win, and they can just run and gun their way through the rest of them. I want to see if OC Esports finds the lion's share of the momentum.
What can they do now? I mean, I feel like they just kind of been bamboozled because they had a plan that worked, and they're like, oh, let's try to go aggressively again. But now they've kind of put themselves in a position where, sure, they've used a lot of utility on B site, and they've dragged everyone else there. So now they're going to say, we're going to rotate A. But here's the problem. Cypher's there. Cypher's got the camera out. You can see it right there through the wall. There it is. There's the perfect camera view. And they probably have a few tripwires here as well. So even though Boom might be caught out a little bit, they're immediately going to have backup. And already, actually, they've got Ricky going on the rotation.
Yeah, so they're going to try to engage, try to be a little bit sneaky, but that's the beauty of Cypher is he can cover an entire point. There's absolutely nowhere to hide, so the information of that rotation was given away almost faster than they were able to rotate. We're going to have to see if Converse can just win the firefight now, but as I say it, things are looking bleak. Shrony with the 3, a flawless round win for OC Esports. They just dump every bullet they have into that one, and they are able to find it. Going into round 4, they're up 1 point.
3 rounds, 2 flawlesses. OC winning the second round after losing the pistol round. This game has got it all so far.
What more could you want?
All you could want more is a map 3, which we may or may not get. It's still very early on in this one, but OC Esports, or an ace. But OC Esports does have that early lead. However, they lost a few members along the way. So you see, they can't go for a full buy. Entry and KO have to go for Spectres instead, which is a bit surprising looking at their economy. So I'm not exactly sure what the plan is there, but on the other side, it looks like Converse for their defense. They're going to try to catch someone out here on B long, and they might catch out Shadowcore, who I'm surprised has not backed out of this yet.
Oh, yeah, I have to agree. I'm shocked Shadowcore chose to take the engagement. They saw 2 people, and they thought, oh, I'll win this. I'll win the 2v1. They get flashed and nowhere to run, and they just get mowed down by Rexo. Unfortunately for OC Esports, that is a devastating loss early on, but Entry might be able to turn things around with a flash of their own. Goes to pick up the Phantom, able to get it and tucks tail and run. So the flash was just to get the gun, really. You've got the spike, and you've got to be careful because you're stuck in this kind of pseudo mid, right? And you can't rotate toward A. You assume the Cypher's there, but you can't rotate toward B because you assume everybody else is there.
And the other thing you're running into is you're going to be running into that showstopper. So if you try to sit up on point, but then you're found out, you could see that Rage just run in with a blast pack and immediately blow up half, if not your entire team. So there's a lot of risk right now for OC Esports. It looks like this is a great way to extend their lead. And now they're kind of caught out in the middle of nowhere. And they find the pick though. So it's going to be a trade. The Blitz might be caught out. No, it doesn't get flashed.
Wait, what are they doing?
The guiding light missed.
They're like, somebody's in there. Let's just not push, right? There's one person, there's 2 of us. Let's just not, but maybe it's a good thing they don't push because they might have just gotten double tapped. Ricky, speaking of double taps, no, making a triple tap. Ricky finds a 3K in the final seconds of the round, and Converse, they have tied things back up 2-2. This is feeling like Ascent all over again, my friends.
And I think the reason they didn't buy there is they wanted to make sure if they lost that round that they'd be set for this round, but I think they honestly had enough where they could have all spent and still bought again this round. So I'm very confused by why OC did not buy that round. It's a decision that they might regret later on because every round is super important, especially in a series that this is close. This is what, the 6th time we've seen it tied up, I think? 7th time maybe?
The minimum 6th.
Yeah, over 2 maps. So
yeah.
It's still, that's still 2 maps, but that's still a crazy amount of ties. And it's especially been early on like this. Regardless, both teams can buy. Both teams have ultimates used, but Converse is already going to bring out the Blade Storm.
Oh, gets flashed straight away, has to duck back a little bit. You've given yourself up with that smoke, but no, it's going to be Shadow finds one. Ricky jumps the corner, able to find a great elimination, tying things up onto Shadow Core. The Bladestorm has still been committed. The Wolf around the corner might be able to, no, will get the elimination. But Ricky choosing to stick around is odd to me. Going to be rotating back toward Hookah, might be able to find the kill onto Keo, and that would really give Converse the numbers advantage I feel like they've been looking for.
Here's the thing, though. OC has the Viper's Pit still at their disposal. So if they're smart, and they've already set up, they've already taken positioning. It's not going to be complete positioning because there is still someone in lights. Let's see if they're able to find them out. Shrony actually might be trying to go all the way around to B. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is here, but if you set up on point, you can easily use that Viper's Pit, but instead they're going to run right into Blitz. Blitz doesn't have their
Oh,
gun out. Blitz
his
has no
knife!
chance.
Blitz had no idea he was knife out and just ready to keep running, but Shrony stuck all the way on the back of A here. This is going to be interesting because Shrony's going to get, I feel, collapsed on a little bit. We see two in A heaven right now, both that Cypher and that Jet, and the Showstopper able to find Shrony. So one ultimate committed to the Viper, but hey, you found a kill, and that's what really matters here.
It's the most important kill. The Viper's Pit is gone. Once Viper is dead, it's the ultimate is null and void, but still, Entry is able to find another one. They also have Seekers. They're going to commit it here. They're going all in on this third round. They do not want to leave anything to chance. They haven't planted the spike. I thought it was down. It's not, and Boom is on the flank.
No, yeah, they didn't plant the spike. I was waiting to bring that up as the timer was ticking. They waited a long time to engage, and I thought the spike was down. I glanced up. We're still looking at the timer. I was like, oh, no. Converse, they are able to find round 5 win. In OC Esports, they can't full buy here.
And what was I saying before about the Showstopper? That's exactly what they were scared of. Wildfire is able to jump out and then jump back, gets the kill for free. And I think that I'm not exactly sure who was the ones planning there, but whoever it was, they got spooked by it. They backed off the spike when they really didn't have to. Like you said, it isn't to be most people on the side of OC buying, but their Astra, who currently has the spike and is also at the bottom of the leaderboard, can only afford a Sheriff.
Yeah, and wow, okay, Ricky gets a little overzealous. Gonna have to tuck tail and run. No, Keo with a great nade, able to find that kill. Now a showstopper of their own. Rexo has nowhere to run. Keo on an absolute massacre right now. Picks up 2 eliminations early on. 5v3 in favor of OC Esports, but Boom from the shadows able to find that kill onto Shrony. Path is gonna be planting the spike early on. This is a great opportunity to succeed. You've got to be careful though, because Blitz picks up Path as well. And OC Esports, they had a lead, but just as quickly it is gone. Tied back up, one ultimate at the ready, but I doubt we're going to be seeing that Hunter's Fury here in this round. Oh, it's going to be Boom with that opening frag there. Oh my goodness, I eat my words here live on stream. Going to be able to stop the defuse, even finding Blitz. That is great, but no, there it is. Boom just sneaks around the corner, can't get out of that animation fast enough, and Converse will win the round.
It was a great setup, but again, just a little bit of indecisiveness from OC Esports. We saw this a little bit on Ascent where they weren't sure if they wanted to go in, they weren't sure if they wanted to plant. I mean, there's so many people around them. They're thinking, oh, like, we want to get out these flankers. No, let's stay back and just get the spike planted. By the time the spike had planted, I think they went into that 5v3. I think it was 3v3 by the time it actually ended up being put on the ground. Not the position you want to be in. And sure, you do have the Hunter's Fury at your disposal. You can use it from far away, but when there's no one protecting, when there's no one else alive, they're just going to run up at you. That's what happened. That's why they fell. And that's why Converse has now been able to take a 2-round lead. Just OC Esports making a few misplays, now their economy just non-existent.
The economy is non-existent indeed, my friend. Shrony is going to be able to find that kill onto Wildfire. So the Sheriff, we always talk about, it's that kind of gun. You get one shot, you get one bullet, and if you miss, you've probably lost the firefight. But Shrony did, in fact, not miss. Things are going to be tied up here 4-4. The Rays down on both sides. So we're going to be definitely keeping an eye on these agents, because this is where the differences really started. Other than the Sky, there's no living player right now who's playing the same agent as somebody on the opposing team. So does it come down to the abilities you have at the ready to win this round?
Oh, Blitz just avoiding people. Cosmic Divide is up, isn't going to be used. See, the Orbital Strike is up as well. Blitz doesn't even need it, just finds the kill. No one there to trade. No one is far up enough, and they try to set up a one-way, but now it's only Shadowcore who's left standing.
The spike's down. Shadowcore does not have it. Has to run back. Going to be able to grab it, but this is going to be a tough one. You're kind of looking at a 1.5v1. Ricky currently sitting at 49 HP. The problem is they know exactly. Never mind. I was just about to say they know exactly where Shadowcore is, and Ricky the bullet was the exclamation point on that sentence there. Just able to find that great elimination early on.
That's
very late in the round, actually.
That sideline was so impressive by Ricky, just waiting for someone to cross over. I think they assumed that someone would probably go to teleporter because there's only one of you. It's only Shadowcore that's left. So either you're going to try to cross over, you're going to try to force point. Converse, they decide not to rotate. They decide to keep things split because their Cypher is the one alive on B. So even if someone does TP in, they still have all those tripwires set up. So very well played by Converse, very patiently played. Could have fallen apart there, but Ricky is amazing. So they probably had full faith in that Jet to get it done.
Absolutely, and Wildfire, the spray, going to be a little bit. I guess we had a little bit of Wildfire there from Wildfire. It was definitely the spray was not ending well in their favor, but Blitz is going to be the janitor here on an absolute clean-up crew, finding a 4K there in round 8. That is going to be a phenomenal lead once again. Converse, if they win this round, they'll have a 5-point lead over OC Esports. The only question is, will they be able to keep it this time?
We'll have to wait and find out. They're one round away also from a lead in this half, but we're going to turn our attention really quickly to the other semifinal that's going on right now. UC Davis, last time we checked in, has a 9-6 lead over BZNZ. And as a reminder, that is a bit of a rematch of the finals from spring. Most of that roster for BZNZ is from the previous runners-up. Not all of them, though. But regardless, back to this OC Esports, they're struggling. And I'm not going to say this is the reason they're struggling, but again,
The Sova.
Cosmic, I was going to say the Sova as well. Yeah, not the best choice, but also the Cosmic Divide has not been used, which is
right.
They were using it very aggressively when they swapped to attack on Ascent. So I'm surprised that they're not being as decisive here.
Do you see Keo juggling the Phantom of the Spectre? I love that. Absolute top tier quality gameplay. I'm assuming they were giving it probably to that Astra, but I'm glad we caught that. So big shout out to our observer Juke in the back line. Thanks, buddy. Great interaction there. Now, Boom going to be on A once again, keeping the area on lock, but not for long, because Entry going to be sending Boom to the Shadow Realm with a great wallbang headshot. So it's going to be a 5v3. OC Esports, they've got the numbers, they've got the spike plant, and it's going to come down to the accuracy. How quickly can Converse fire to keep this fight alive? Wildfire picks up Shrony. The Cosmic Divide coming out. That's certainly a choice. That is certainly an ultimate that has been used.
Is it too late? It might not be. They lose one, but they still have a 4v2 advantage. And it seems like Blitz is trying to take the exact same pathway that was just used, but they're going to be distracted by the Wolf at their feet.
I got to say, that was a choice from Converse there. I don't even know what to say. I'm certainly at a loss for words to see 3 of them basically do the same thing in a row and expect different results. I mean, what is that? The definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But that felt clunky from Converse. I've got to be honest.
It seems like they had all 3 God cards in their hand, and they're like, we can just play all of these. We're going to summon them all at once. And then OC said, well, we got Exodia, so what you going to do now? They didn't have the guns. They find that opening pick, and then, as you said, they were juggling them so they could pass them on to other teammates. So then
that really made me laugh.
All have full auto. All are able to set up on point. And the Cosmic Divide did come in just a little bit late where they lost when it wasn't flawless, but it doesn't get much better than that, honestly, Septulence. OC now breathes new life into themselves, but the biggest thing that Converse has is they still has 3 ultimates on their side.
And I got to wonder if they're going to use them. Of course, the unique thing about neural theft is somebody has to die on the opposing team before you can use it. You kind of steal the information on where their teammates are. But the showstopper, I mean, that's definitely the one I'm keeping my eye on right now. I want to see what comes off of that. Do we see another Elim? We have yet to see a killless showstopper so far. Wildfire will find a kill without it. Shrony ties things up straight away. Boom. Maybe you've got to stand in a new spot. That's 2 rounds in a row you've been wallbanged.
Yeah, Boom might have to find out a different location. And OC Esports, they're going to try to use this Viper's Pit once again and hope that they get better results. It's actually on A. The spike is not really either place so far. It is going towards A, but they're not sure if they want to go in. No, they're actually going to rotate all the way back. It looks like they might go to B. Now they're going back to A. This Viper's Pit is not going to last forever, but Shrony's going to use the cover of Night to walk through.
Yeah, Shrony finding another kill onto Wildfire, so things were tied up for just a moment, and it looks like they're going to be tied up all over again as Entry goes for the spike plant, but Ricky, just patience, waiting, knew where the spike plant was going to be. Now, okay, here comes the orbital strike here from the Brimstone. Now, that is a move of desperation, trying to stop that spike plant from happening, but unfortunately for Converse, they are going to be able to find the spike plant on the side of OC Esports. We're going to have to see if this happens any differently here. We're going to see a repeat of what happened in U-Haul last round.
Ricky playing on top of boxes, almost finds someone on the side, but does not. They're spraying and praying, but KO is traded out. OC Path is able to take out Blitz. It's a 2v2. And there's members that are weak on both sides, but Shrony just playing the outside of it has an ability on the point, has that Molly down, is going to use the Toxic Screen as well, just distract them, but it's not enough. Is there enough time to defuse this? Sounds like there is.
Yeah, I was just sorry. I forgot to even respond. I was listening so closely to the timer there, and I was going to say just a couple of seconds. So it looks like it's going to be 2.14 there. Converse, however, a round win is a round win. Simple as that. I mean, we see that Ricky was the first one to hit double digits. They were the first to hit 10 elims. Keo not far behind, rocking 11. So certainly going to be neck and neck with that top fragger to keep an eye. I mean, look across the leaderboard as a whole. These players are pretty close to one another, other than Shadowcore and Wildfire kind of being the standout there.
Agreed. But I want to talk about Kia really quickly. I mean, they have been the top fragger so far for OC. They've been doing a great job on this raise, but there they just, I think they misplayed that completely, unfortunately. They were trying to go for a flank, but really there they needed to rotate the other way through lamps instead of trying to go all the way around, caught on
Wow,
boxes. But
wow.
wait,
What is
they're gonna
happening?
cut out.
What?
What?
There was so many ultimates. What was that? That was Showstopper. That was Seekers. I think there was a third one in there somewhere, but I can't even tell you what it was. So much just happened. Wow, I feel like I was watching a very different popular first-person shooter. That was a lot of ultimates being used at the same time. But Converse, I mean, they kind of come out on top of that, right? They nobody dies to a Showstopper. They get the kill on the raise. They did commit their Seekers and lose the Sky though, so no healing is what I want to keep an eye out here for the later half of this round.
And something they did lose someone. It was a trade, so they were able to get the showstopper off in the nick of time. I thought they would just completely whiff it, but they actually hit it onto the sky, so that's no healing. But you still do have a Neural Theft, you still have a Blade Storm. On the other side, all you have is your own Seekers. So the ultimate advantage on the other side, they're just gonna bust out those Seekers right away, as well as the Guiding Light, and it's a trade, so 3v3. It's trades on trades on trades.
You know what's not a trade? UC Davis in the game. They're winning right now. They just won the first map. They're going to be up 1-0 in the series over BZNC. We'll get back to you on that as soon as we hear any more information. Now to jump right back into the action, Wildfire with that kill onto Path. It's going to be interesting to see if Shrony can do anything, but the answer is simply no. Shrony gets taken offline by Wildfire, who had a pretty successful round, their utility speaking. And Converse, they may go 9-3 into halftime.
That'd be the biggest lead they've had this series. You talked about it before. On Ascent, 5 was what they had. 5 is what they gave up. They lost that last map 13-11. Right now, they've come on to Bind, and they are playing it so well. And OC, they just cannot go for a full buy. I mean, they can barely afford full armor. Only one who could do it is Shrony, and they're going to have to settle for a Spectre. So not a lot in their corner. Only 100 Fury as well for an ult. Yeah, there's just, I think right here, just run in, try to find something, but the aggression's going to be met on the other side. Unfortunately, the wrong side for Converse. They're going to try to push through showers. Nothing going to be there, but they actually might have found a lead there at the end, and now Ricky's going to be flanking with the Blade Storm.
Oh, that's scary. Ricky has been very boom or bust, very hit or miss with this Blade Storm. And speaking of boom, we're going to see double Blast Pack used, but no, Wildfire still falls to that Hunter's Fury. Rexo immediately gets things tied up. Oh, the Blade Storm from Ricky. Talk about boom or bust. That is going to be a bust, my friend. Not even a little bit of damage off of that being taken offline early. Shadowcore going for the spike plant. There is but a Cypher alive on the side of Converse. Does OC Esports do it again? Do they wait until the final moment to turn the series around?
This would be a great heap of momentum going into the side swap. Converse, they do have a Neural Theft, they do have a Cypher, but Boom is on the other side of the map, has all the utility set up there, so has nothing here except for one more Cyber Cage in that Neural Theft. But again, you need a body to use it, so no bodies available. No one has really fallen from OC in a while.
Oh, man.
Shadowcore able to get 3, and OC going to avoid that deficit. That would have been 9-3 instead. Going to make it 8-4. Not great, but not the end of the world, and we always talk about Valorant, right? It's almost always defensive sided.
Yep.
OC's going to be where they want now, and we always talk about the best worst case scenario. I think that would be a 5-7, but a 4-8, sure. The lead is very easy to come back from or get back up to, because if you win this round, you're almost guaranteed the next round, unless you get what you did to the other team done to you, where you win the round you really shouldn't have. But regardless, if they're able to get it to 6-8, it's basically a brand new game. It's basically restarted with just a 0-2.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want to see what kind of comes out of OC Esports now that there's a silver lining, in the sense that Converse has a Cypher on offense, and Cypher is a defensive built character, right? You obviously have to play him through the whole game, so we're going to be seeing him on the offense, but he really can utilize such a little amount of his kit. And looks like we're going to be able to see maybe a little bit here. That's going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Ricky with the Frenzy. What will he do? He will find 2 there. Able to get 2 eliminations, keeping things tied up. Almost found 3. Shadowcore as low as 26 HP.
Oh, I think that Shock Dart just barely connected, but on the outer
rim, kissed him, yeah.
It's not going to do much. Just a little smooch on the leg. But regardless, it's still a 3v3. 2 members a week. Ricky, you said, almost took out one, but they're the one that almost got taken out as well. Just running in with the Frenzy. Now they've actually swapped to the Ghost, so less damage, but more accuracy, less spray. But here's what's really interesting. They are making their way towards B, but there's going to be a 1v1 on A while this is going on.
Yeah, the 1v1, I think, might be that crucial opportunity, actually. Kind of what comes off the back of that, who finds the successes in that, because that'll obviously give the team a numbers advantage moving into the rest of it. Ricky, a bit of a hasty teleport, I think. Excuse me, both of them, a bit of a hasty teleport. In the 1v1, simple as that. Wildfire finds an ult fire onto Shrony, gets taken out, but KO does find that vengeance kill. So 3v3 just turns into a 2v2, but Ricky caught out by that nade. It's going to come down to Boom once again. Currently only 3 elims on the board. We are 13 rounds in, and Boom only has 3 elims, but they might be able to find a spike plant. However, OC, they are rotating fast.
They are, but they don't have that much health. Both of them are in the red. Boom has a little
on,
bit of
Boom.
armor left still. Takes a little bit of a damage, though. Boom
is rotated on.
Yeah, he's going to get pincered completely. They're going from both sides.
One. Turn around.
Health.
Boom, no.
Boom, what?
No way. No shot. Oh, I thought Boom was down and out of that, but the double kill comes through. 3 elims turns into 5, and Converse, I'll say by the skin of their teeth, they win that round.
How?
I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you. I have no clue.
That was a 180. And just
Watched
like
it with my own eyes, and I have no idea.
Just like that, 3 kills becomes 6 for Boom.
I said, oh, the Cypher on the offense is going to do worse. Boom doubles his KD in 1 round. All right, Boom. I see you, man. I see you.
It was a great plan there by OC, but they just could not execute. They whiffed the shot they needed. Maybe the rotation wasn't fast enough. Maybe they were trying to be sneaky. Maybe they decided to run at the last moment, and that was an audio cue that Boom could hear. I'm not sure how that ended up.
Maybe they heard him pull out the gun.
But maybe there's so many possibilities. Regardless, it's going to be that OC, after winning a round, after keeping themselves in the game, find themselves once again in a pretty big hole, a 5-round hole to be exact.
Now, they've never been deeper than this. That's the thing. So if Converse wins this round, I think that's going to be where they take the lion's share of the momentum and they keep moving. But OC Esports, they win this one. I've got nothing but faith they turn it around. This is but the tip of the iceberg, my friends.
Tip of the iceberg. We'll see how fastly it melts. And if we go to it was originally going to be Icebox, but actually it's going to be Haven now. So we'll see if we go to Haven in that map 3, potentially in a little bit. Converse, we need 4 more rounds to close things out. Shrony going to be holding with them.
Oh, man, I had a great line. I had a great line if Shrony was even a little bit successful, but unfortunately, nobody's going to be able to know what that is. It's going to be Blitz finding that kill on the path as well. Shadowcore picks up Rex, so that's good. Rexo has fallen. The sky's down. Healing is gone. Now you've just got to kill 4 more with a classic, right? We've seen it before.
Simple.
I just don't think we're going to see it again.
As you could say from another game, simple geometry, right?
Absolutely.
Is going to find a few shots through the smoke, but I think it's only a matter of time. It seems like Boom has found out entry. Shadowcore does take 1 down, but the healing, entry's gone. They're not together. Again, I've seen this so many times.
Devastated.
Where the sky is just not with the rest of the team, and I'm not sure if regrowth was online or not, but regardless, if it was, like, that could have been a huge boost. That could have helped keep that Sova alive, and maybe you can at least trade a little bit more. You can't. Converse, 6-round lead, the biggest one they've had so far, and not only that, but they are at double digits once more. We have seen in this scenario, though, this is what happened last time. Got to double digits really quickly and then kind of fell off. And they definitely are going to have an uphill battle with this round, believe, because they're not going to have the weapons they need. Yeah, Rex is going for a Sheriff. It's Spectres. OC does have a full buy, but Shadowcore, you're walking up very quickly there. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't been traded. How? No way. He gets out of that? No way.
No way. This has been, I feel like we're watching like the Twilight Zone version of whatever's supposed to be happening in Valorant with the insanity we've seen. Shadowcore gets traded out, but incorrectly there. So another trade coming through, entry onto Boom. So it's going to be a 3v3 lined up. The Blade Storm's ready, but your Jet's at 10 HP. You've got no healing available. This is going to be tough to turn around, but out of the teleporter, it's Shrony finding not 1, not 2, but 3 eliminations. OC Esports, they find that round win. We talked about this already. Is this the curse that Converse has already shown us? Will they hit double digits and drop the ball after?
They can full buy here, except for Ricky, and that is fine because Ricky actually got the ultimate orb, but wouldn't have really needed it at the end of the day because when they died, they would have gone it. Actually, this is shocking. They're going for the Vandal here.
Oh, that is shocking.
This is a very risky play. So Converse feels very confident about their situation, is my kind of read from this. They also have an orbital strike, so they could use that to clear out point or stop a defuse, but they lose this. Their economy is going to be gone for a round or 2. So this is a very risky play. You are up 5 rounds. You do have a pretty nice lead, but like you said, this has fallen apart once before. So this is not the time to be overconfident.
Yeah, this is certainly not the time to be overconfident. You have been in this exact scenario before, a 5-round lead. You dropped that ball once. I know it's in the cards to do it again. You've got to be playing safe like no other right now if you are on the side of Converse. You are 3 rounds away, but we saw how much 3 rounds really was to them on Ascent. We're going to have to see if that same pattern happens here on Bind. Shrony in particular, I feel, has really started to carry a little bit harder than they were on Ascent, so that might be kind of the kryptonite that Converse isn't ready for.
Viper is really good here, but they're going to get thrown right out of that positioning because of the orbital strike, and KO was not expecting that. Now Shrony going to have to carry even harder, and they're taking damage.
Oh, Rexo finds Shrony as well. Wildfire already finds the plant. The momentum, OC Esports had it for a second, but you blink and it's gone. The Seekers come out, but at what cost? Entry can't even engage off the back of him, just waiting too long to show up. Rexo finds one, Path picks up another, Boom finds Entry, and that is the round win. There's a chance that is the anti-penultimate round of Bind, my friends.
It could be, and you saw also that OC, they used their Seekers there, and I think that was just unfortunate timing. They were cast right after 2 kills came through, after they lost 2 members. So there was a will and there was a way, but just wasn't the right time. And at that point, you're committing to it. You got to run in. You run right into the Cypher cyber cage. They're going to know you're there. It's going to make noise. You're going to be completely cut off. You got no sightline. You're also running into a smoke from the brimstone. There's just so much that you can't do there because of that timing, unfortunately. And OC, I mean, they've been able to take 2 rounds here and there, but Converse, they really starting to run away with this one.
Yeah, they certainly have. They've found that lead. They're only 2 rounds short. We've seen them 2 rounds short before, and that certainly didn't work out well. So I want to see, is this the time they really turn it around? If I'm not mistaken, this is OC Esports map pick? That might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. So, oh, you know what? I'm always wrong, man. No, our producer was wrong. I was right this time. It's going to be OC Esports map pick, and the fact that they're doing this poorly cannot be a good omen.
No, like 9 times out of 10, I swear, Sepulence, whatever your map pick is, you lose. That's just how this game works.
That seems to be the name of the game.
Always. So this isn't that surprising. I mean, I guess coming from any FPS game, it's a bit surprising, but in Valorant, not so much. That's going to be the Neural Theft. They still have the Blaze Storm. They still have their Sky alive, just barely. And the Spike's planted. What can OC do here? They don't want this to get to 12. Then if it gets to 12, the only way they can even have a chance of winning this is winning 7 in a row in overtime. Shrony
might be the hero.
Has Viper's Pit. They could go for it and then just go for the defuse.
No shot. No, they know. The wall bang. Ricky knew exactly where that spike was. Just one short of an ace. Goes for, I think, no, okay. Just dash for the giggles. I thought they were going for the weapon until I realized they had one of their own. This is the match point, folks. That may have been our penultimate round. There's only 1 round left available. I mean, we have to see OC Esports not only win 8 in a row just to keep the series alive, then they have to win in overtime as well. They have to win by 2.
Yes, absolutely. Your Sepulence. I mean, it's a whole new game. Everything resets and it's a first to 2. You swap sides every time. It's going to take, I'm going to take this out of your playbook, a Herculean task to win
this.
Hey,
let's go!
Not only does OC not have the weaponry, they do have ultimates, but okay, that's one way to use a Viper's Pit. I guess on defense, that does make a little bit of sense. Just cut off an entryway, make sure that
it's a little early.
They can't even get through. It is, but it kills time off the clock. But I feel like Converse is, they've never really run out of time. They've always been very good at time management here. So I'm not, it's really just you cannot go through A long. So
no! Oh my goodness, entry turned at the worst possible time. I swear we see that so often. A team or a player just looks away. Absolute worst time. Rexel, however, is going to turn that around back in favor of Converse, and we're going to need the 2v4 of an absolute lifetime if OC Esports wants to keep this map alive, but this is looking more and more like we are going to Icebox, my friends, or Haven. Darn.
Yeah, see, even the cat got your tongue there. Shoney does find one. Viper's Pit's still up.
Oh, no, wait! No!
It's 1v2. Blaze Storm is still up. They're going to get the spike plant. I don't think they're going to get the Blaze Storm here, because again, they still have a lot of room to work with, even if they do lose this.
Blade Storm's definitely going to be a flex ult if they win the round. I do not think they're going to actually use it to win the round. I think they'll use it and fire it into the ground, as many Jets do when they win a half or a map. Shrony turns around the wrong corner. Luckily enough, doesn't pay the price, but has absolutely zero information. Finds one. We need, there it is, one more. You've got to get on that spike as soon as possible, my friend. I don't think it's ticking fast enough yet. Got to be able to find that defuse. And Shrony, my friends, OC Esports, give your Viper player a pat on the back, because they are the sole reason you are alive here now. Can they do that 7 more times?
OC, they set themselves up in a very peculiar position there. So I'm finally getting why they did what they did. They wanted to force everyone into market from Converse, which they did. That's what the Viper's Pit was for. Just cut off the usual access way. Don't even worry about showers. But the problem is that they didn't run in. Again, they played a little bit too slowly. Entry they were setting up for the guiding light, but couldn't actually get it off. Trades, more trades, and then just mechanical play there from OC does save at the end of the day. They still have 3 ultimates online, but when you're in a dire situation like this where one more round lost is the end of the map, you just got to use them. Like, you cannot even,
Yeah.
I mean, you want to think about it. You don't want to just like hit like
You don't want to
your
just
ability
press,
button.
yeah.
But you do have to use them now or never. I mean, I think right now, just go in with the showstopper, because that's the
Sure.
most, like, I would say the most accessible way to get a kill, because Hunter's Fury is kind of hit or miss. You might be able to tag some people up, but it's not guaranteed. But they're just right now holding. They're I think a little bit too cautious for their own good. Right now, if you played aggressive, you completely catch Converse off guard, especially because Converse themselves are playing very passive and they're completely spit across the map.
I think you've made a great observation there that maybe they're playing a little too passive. And look who it is here to save the day. It's going to be Shrony, but Shadowcore just walks into a corner and it gets taken offline. So a 2-for-2 trade. The dangerous part of that, Spike is down. Now Ricky lives 2 HP. You get the Spike, you're able to engage, but what are you going to do at 2 HP?
You also lost someone along the way, so you're just going to try to rush into A, but if Ricky even gets breathed on, it's over. But, oh, that's huge. The ult orb was actually picked up there, so now they have both of them up, but look at this angle that Keo is holding.
Converse, they lose the round here. OC Esports, they're cleaning it up. This team, I mean, they're keeping us on the edge of our seats, my friends. We're going to be going 12-7. OC Esports, they're only 5 short of tying this up, which is crazy, but we've seen them do that once already.
Tactical pause isn't to come in, so a minute for them to catch their thoughts. My guess is this coming in probably from Converse, because they don't want this lead to get away from themselves. And this round, not going to be a buy round. I mean, Wildfire, Rexo, they can't afford it. Everyone else can barely afford it. You can't really share the wealth here. So my guess is this is going to be a round that they let go. The thing is, they didn't use their ultimate, so I think that's okay. I thought they might panic and try to use their own showstopper there. They didn't. So again, they're in a position where they can still give up 2 to 3 rounds and make it 10-12 and still be able to put this away. But you have to be trading. You cannot just let them flawless. You cannot let them win with 4 people alive. You got to get at least 2 on your end, so that way you force the other team to buy. You force them to use their own ultimate so they panic. You got to get something out of them if you're going to lose like that.
Absolutely. You've got to bait something out here. You've got to bait out a player, an ultimate, somebody's utility. You've got to give yourself a leg up. Even if it's the smallest leg up, you still need that slight advantage. On the tactical pause does come to a close. I agree. I'm going to guess that's on the side of Converse. They're probably trying to find what is our best strat moving into this round. How do we win as quickly as possible? And the answer to that, you've got Blade Storm, Orbital Strike, and Showstopper online. You might just barnstorm in. You might just kick the door down and storm in, guns blazing.
We'll see if that's what they do. It's a strategy I like a lot, because, you know, it can catch people off guard, and again, like Sheriff, 1 shot, 1 kill can work out. They're going to get the Blade Storm here. So this tells me that they really want to go all in on this round of whatever they can. This would also be a huge statement if they can win in this thrifty fashion.
Right.
But look at how OC is holding this. There are people right now on beat, but they're completely cut off. They're playing kind of behind. They're playing actually in a more of an attacker position, as you see. Entry's going to have to try to use some ability there. The Seeker's actually being thrown out very early on. And it's just, one of them just went right by Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky turned off their thermals, I guess, and just hid from the Seeker. And I want to talk about as well, we talk about that Cosmic Divide 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. OC Esports, they've been sitting on that for a little while. They've had that Cosmic Divide at the ready, and they're choosing not to use it on top of the 2 other ultimates they have. We just saw the Seekers coming out, so they are using some ults, but they might want to use a couple more. This should be an easy round win for them. An ultimate might make that even easier.
Well, Blade Storm being used. Now they've got the Orbital Strike still. Keo, you got to get out of there. You do not want to run into this.
Showstopper, do it. You won't. Oh, I love the blind fire. Here comes the nade around the corner. Might be able to find something, but no, a Showstopper from Wildfire instead. Being caught up in a lot of decay. Oh, finds Rexo with it. That is going to be fantastic. Stevie, that was the other Showstopper in simultaneous, but either way, Shadowcore, speaking of things happening in simultaneous, 3 eliminations, might turn into 4, 21 HP. Cypher cannot do much on the offense, and Shadowcore finds almost an ace. OC Esports, you have drawn us this far already. I'm going to say win bind. You've got to win it now. You've brought us this far.
You made a fan out of Septilence. He's rooting for you right
I'm always
now.
rooting for the underdog. I can't help myself.
So here's my question. You do get out the Seekers, you do get out the Showstopper, but on your end, you use the Bladestorm and your own Showstopper. So is that worthwhile in a Thrifty round? I'm honestly not sure. That's
I
why I'm
don't
asking.
know. I don't
Because
know.
I feel like you could have set yourself up with great win conditions. Just, we can buy now. We've got 4 ultimates. Literally use everything. Who cares? It's 1 round you need to win. Now you've got a lot less on the plate. You're going to use Orbital Strike. It does get out Shrony, though, but here's...
Oh!
It gets...
No! No way! Oh, the double Hunter's Fury, and neither of them were a teammate. That is so fantastic for the side of OC Esports. Dude, I've seen it happen so many times. I almost thought it was guaranteed there that one of those players is going to be a teammate, but no, instead... OC Esports, I mean, this Sova in particular, he has picked up the slack in these final rounds, really finding some great successes here. There it is.
Cosmic Divide, yeah, it's going to come out. Is it enough? Spike's been planted for a little bit now, so they got to move quickly on the Spike. Ricky's going to be looking for something on the flank, but everyone else is already on point. They got to go for the plant. I mean, the time is running out. They're not going to have enough time. They do get a 1. It's only Ricky. Ricky's so weak. Shadow Core going to find them. They're going to get it. They're going to keep this alive.
Dude, I don't know. That's fast. Okay, no, wait. I think we're good. I think we're fine. I'm over-exaggerating. Yeah. Okay, 5 seconds. I got a little nervous there, and then I realized it wasn't on the sound I thought it was. So we had a little bit more time there, but OC Esports, I often say, whatever game we're playing, it is the blank factor, right? It is when a team waits until the very last moment to remember how to play the game and really turn things around. And OC Esports, they have done that at its finest. This is the Valorant factor if I've ever seen it.
And if Converse ends up losing this, I think it really comes down to the way they played about 2 rounds ago when they decided to commit when they didn't need to, when they only had sheriffs, when they used ultimates, when there was really no point, when it was okay to lose, when they could have had everything in that last round. Now they have nothing. Now they have no firepower. And OC Esports only 1 round away from getting it to double digits as well, 3 away from getting into overtime. This is all in OC Esports' favor, and they still have a Viper's Pit at their disposal.
The Viper's Pit could be huge here for OC. I mean, that could be a great way to keep the dream alive, so to speak. Now, the nade makes a little bit of space for Converse, but unfortunately, it's not going to really find any damage, doesn't get any kills. Of course, a kill would be best case scenario, of course, but they're not going to be able to pick that up yet. Path is a name I feel we haven't said much today, or at least in the second map. Maybe they can change. Maybe they can change that up right now, and they are able to do so. Ricky is gone, but Blitz gets traded out. OC Esports, they have the numbers advantage. The Viper's Pit still available. I'm not sure what Converse can do here to turn this around.
Wildfire falling low, but is going to be healed up by the regrowth all the way to full health, it looks like. So they're going to be pushing on to A. There is also an ult, or maybe they can pick up in showers, but Neural Theft could be helpful later on, but also you may not want to give away your positioning.
Right.
They're going to blast pack in.
Oh, man. You don't blast pack in with a sheriff. That felt reckless. I do not like that at all on the side of Converse, but maybe they can still turn this around. We've seen Boom clutch once already. Can you find a 4K, my friend? This is going to be tough. A 4K with a sheriff, practically unheard of, and they don't even get to fire the gun. OC Esports, they have hit double digits. They are 2 away from guaranteeing an overtime. They have won 5 rounds in a row.
Boom there. Had an angle, almost found a kill, but then when you don't find that kill, everyone knows where you are. I mean, everyone was looking at showers at that point. They knew exactly where that Cypher was hiding, so there was really no way to get anything else out of that round. Do get a Neural Theft, don't even need the ult orb. You just get the ultimate point for dying, and you can buy. If they lose this, though, if they lose this round, I think it's going to be guaranteed overtime because
I agree.
They're going to have no economy. So this is really, OC, this is where you got to make your stand. This is where you got to keep the momentum going. You can make it 6 in a row, then 7, and then you can force overtime. Then you can possibly take this series 2-0. This is your time to shine. You are the underdog seeding-wise. Let's see if you can make it happen.
Not only seeding-wise, but just momentum-wise, round-wise right now. You are down by 2. Losing this round will bring Bind to a close. You will have done all of that effort, drawn everything out for naught. And again, Wildfire with these reckless blast packs. I just cannot get behind the idea of using them like that, but it looks like Converse might still be able to finally turn some things around. Shrony finds 1, Shrony finds 2. Absolutely no way. It is going to come down to a 1v1. Converse Boom versus OC Esports, the Raze player at the ready. This is what it's going to come down to. And Boom's at 46 HP. This is a now or never moment. It's going to come down to who finds that shot first.
And that is going to give a lot of information. So now they know exactly that Boom is still on this point. They can play this very comfortably. They're going to see that as well. They're going to throw in the pages.
No, you're looking
they're going to walk right by each other.
Boom. No, there it is! No shot! No shot! Keo with the nade. Oh, I hate to say it, but
The BM.
that's deserved. The BM is deserved. Keo just able to find the exact nade. The progress had been made, and Keo more than lucky that that Cypher was already at 45 HP, but OC Esports, they are 1 round shy of turning this into an overtime series.
So it looks like I was wrong. Converse actually can buy a few weapons at their disposal. I thought they'd really have nothing to play with. But they do actually have a pretty good arsenal, just no ultimates at their disposal. So this actually is much more even than I thought it would. I thought OC would probably be guaranteed this round, but no. Only Wildfire going with the Sheriff. And there is a few ultimates very close by for Converse. So they get an ultimate orb, they get a kill. They could have Blaze Storm. They could have the Orbital Strike online. So this is not done and dusted yet. Converse might still be able to pull out the win here instead of some map 3.
I don't show a bias often, but I will honestly be so sad for OC Esports if they're not able to win this one. They have fought tooth and nail. They have brought their 150% for every single thing that we have seen so far here on Bind. Things started rough. They got warmed up. They found their footing, and if they lose this 13-11, that'll just be devastating. Oh, but the showstopper.
Scoreline would be crazy. Ricky is going to pop the knives, so it's going to be Blade Storm out first. Strony going to be taking some damage and be playing very aggro here. The Seekers are still in line for OC, but this guy's having to rotate, so that's going to take up time. But they are all there. They're 4 strong. The only one, actually 3 strong. There are still 2 on B looking at that mini-map.
The Wolf taken out, but now they know where Boom is. Again, that's just so much information given, and Boom is out on their lonesome there trying to approach A. I doubt Converse has that much, or excuse me, I doubt OC has that much information, but if they did, getting rid of that Cypher would be huge here. You could find the numbers advantage, but right now, this is turning into a very elongated waiting game. We're down to 34 seconds left.
But this bait might be perfect. Oh, the blast pack onto... That was cool. That was cool. Onto the bomb buddy. Now they know exactly where it is, but there's no one there. It's really just path against the world. They're not going to push path, which is lucky for them, and the spike has not been planted just yet. Now it is, so now the full rotation's going to have to come out.
Blast pack back out. Ricky all the way in the back line here. Going to be caught. Oh, path might fall, but no, Ricky turns the corner second. A little bit of damage there onto Ricky. No shield left. Has to get healed up by the Sky, and Boom instead finds that kill onto path. OC Esports there now down to 5v4. Things looking bleak as Boom picks up that second kill, and Bind looks like it very well may come to a close here. Entry is going to be able to find Blitz, so it's going to be a 4v3. The defuse at an attempt. Wildfire finds the kill. Shadowcore finds 2 more, and OC Esports, they are 2 kills shy of turning this around. Ricky with the Sheriff picks up Shadowcore, and Shrony turns his back at the worst possible time. Converse, they are going to be able to take Bind. They are taking us all the way to mAAd 3, which is going to be Haven. Absolutely amazing showing from both sides there. Like I said, a little upset OC wasn't able to clutch, but Converse, they deserve that win, no doubt.
They just got too impatient there. You saw that there's a bit of noise at A. Let's all rotate to A. And then they only leave their Astra there. And sure, you do have those gravity wells still up, but they ran right past where they were located. They were already out of hookah by the time that they realized what was happening. They got great point positioning. It seems like OC didn't really know how to push out of B once they got there on defender side. They didn't know if they should try to go man, if they should try to go all the way around. They tried to do both. Neither worked. They finally got onto the point. There were some great kills that came in from the Sova, but it just wasn't enough. They had lost too many. And despite a great comeback and a very close scoreline, all of that is for naught. You still lose the map. You still have to battle out on our last map of the series, and that's going to be Haven.
I'm excited to see Haven. I really am. I think it's going to be interesting. That's an attacker-sided map, and I feel we've been talking a lot about these teams having an advantage on both sides. So I want to see what's brought to the table, but I believe we're throwing it, to a super short break. I'm not positive on that. Hopefully someone will tell me in just a second here. But yeah, all right, we are going to be throwing it to a quick break, a quick bathroom break. Everybody get up, stretch, do whatever, get water, use the restroom, but come right back for what is going to be a very interesting map 3. We'll see you then. Oh, hey everyone, and welcome back for more action-packed Valorant. I am still Septimus, run by the handsome and wonderful Jack to bring map 3 of 3, games 13 to 11, both times. We really thought they were going to come to a close much earlier, but, OC Esports, they really love to draw out these series, huh, Jack?
They love to extend those map scores, but they've had two different results. On Ascent, able to bring it back all the way, able to get it done, able to actually close it out. Then on Bind, so close, but just a little short. And we've seen on the other side that Converse really good at breaking these ties early on after having a few tie rounds at the beginning, able to get out to these nice leads, and then they fall apart. They're able to bring it back. They're able to stabilize at the very end there on Bind. Couldn't do it on Ascent, and that's where we are now.
Yeah.
1-1, one more map, and this is for the grand finals. Now there is going to be a consolation match. If you lose this, you'd still play for third place. You can still play for a part of that prize pool, but you didn't make it all the way through 5 weeks of the regular season and already one playoff game just to go home for third. You want to play for first place.
Absolutely. This is such a unique spot. This, I think, is the closest series we have ever had during the UPL summer season. This has been 13 to 11, 2 maps in a row. The question on everybody's mind, Jack, will map 3 also be 13 to 11, or do you think we're going to have it end perhaps a little bit earlier, maybe even later?
I think it's going to be pretty similar. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same scoreline, but I do think it's going to be another close battle. I think both of these teams have been very smart with their agent selects. I feel like they've really chosen to whatever their side is initially. We saw that more on Ascent than we did on Bind. I feel like Bind, the comps are a little bit more, either or. But here, I mean, Haven, 3 points. I always say is attacker sided. Pro statistics don't actually say that. I feel like pro statistics say that defenders usually win. But, this is a little bit different. This isn't the VCT just yet, so we'll see how this map plays out as both teams lock in their picks. And we're going to see in Astra, this is really interesting. We're going to see in Astra for the first time on the other side.
I also want to point out quickly, other than Entry, I don't think anybody on that side has played the same hero or agent at all. I'm not positive on that. But other than Entry Sky, I think everybody has swapped at least once.
I think you're right. I mean, who was on the Jet before? Definitely wasn't Shadowcore. He was Shrony, I believe. And
then Shrony was on Viper, and now Shrony's on Astra. Keo was just on Raze, now on
Shadowcore had been on the Viper, not on the Viper, on the Sova, right? And that was the pick that we said we didn't really like on Bind. And I'm not going to say it was what cost them at the end. I don't think it was that. I think it was just getting a little bit too impatient with their rotation. They rotated too quickly and then left BU completely open. But it wasn't the end-all be-all pick, though. I do think they did get a really nice Double Hunter's Fury at one point. So, kudos to them on that. But you're completely right. This has completely swapped. And every time I've seen something like this, I want to go back to, I think it was Underground Kings, who I think have done something very similar in the past. Okay. I mean, what happened? They're not here anymore. They got eliminated last week in the quarterfinals. It's really dangerous to swap up the roles. I mean, again, mechanical skill is always going to be the same. You're always going to be doing the same thing at the end of the day, which is shoot, fire. But ability usage and timing can be really, really important. And here, they completely swapped it.
Oh, Ricky going to be caught out there in a little bit of a smoke, but goes for a very quick spike plant. Probably going to be able to find it. Wildfire does pick up the kill onto Shrony, so the first blood going to be in favor here. It looks like things are going to be turning around great. Blitz picks up Shadowcore as well, so OC, things are starting to look bleak.
It is indeed. I mean, they do have positioning on the point, but they have no way to smoke it off. They're going to be caught in the gravity. Well, they're going to be shot down. This is what you want to do on B every single time. You don't see it a lot during the pistol round because you don't really have the same amount of range, but you just play all the way back near window. Path just going to be trading a little bit, not going to do anything. Flawless. Again, from Converse. So the second time they've gotten a flawless round on pistol round, third time every map they've run the pistol round.
Yep.
And if you want this to be you, don't forget that the UPL Fall 2021 season is now open for registration. We got plenty of great games beyond just Valorant. We got Rocket League, we got League of Legends, and we got Rainbow Six, which preceded it just before this. So if you want to be competing for a great prize against amazing competitors, be sure to sign up today.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love all of those games. I actually participate in all of those except League of Legends. That's just, there's a lot going on for me
We'll
there.
get you
But
there.
either way, I mean, yeah, we'll get me there one day. One of these days, I'll figure out what's happening in League of Legends. But, I'm very excited to see what is going to be growing in Unified, as well as I'm excited to see what's going to be brought to the table here in round two. Wildfire with that immediate double kill, a 5v3 in favor of Converse. This is a 1-1 series, folks. One of these teams makes it to grand finals. One of these teams gets, at best, a third place seeding.
And now we'll see what OC can do. I mean, they went for an aggressive push. They tried to catch everyone off guard, but that turret that came out from the Killjoy on Converse's side just perfectly placed, shut down any real approach of trying to climb through window. Free plant on C, and now Boom might be able to clean out everyone else. Gonna get the double tap.
Oh,
Gets three.
wow.
It's another flawless.
Back-to-back flawless. Now, that is neat. That means everybody on the side of Converse is currently still at 0 deaths. That is really interesting. 4-0, 4-0, 1-0, so on and so forth, while nobody on OC has been able to get even a kill yet.
And here's the very interesting thing about this. They actually could try to match here. They could try to take away the bonus round from OC because they can all afford ARs. They can all afford a Phantom or a Vandal here.
Sure.
They're deciding not to. And I think this is a smart play because we've seen what they've done is they have rushed things quite a bit, which is a big part of why OC was able to come back because of their choices of ultimates, their choices of economy. So this time, they're going to play it a bit safer. And just because they're running in with, Spectres and Bulldogs doesn't mean they're not going to win this.
Absolutely. They're definitely playing. I'm confident to use the word more calculated. It really does feel like they kind of know what's going on just a little bit more. And Entry had a lineup for one whole second, and then the Lear got in the way. They didn't even get to pull the trigger. Converse going to be up. Oh, there it is. Trony down as well. No shot. There's 3 in a row. Absolutely no shot. We get 3 flawless in a round. KO, I'm counting on you, bro. There it is. All right. No flawless, but darn tootin' close. That is going to be 15 eliminations to 1 elim on the side of OC Esports right now. This is the most convincing we've seen so far.
You know what's so smart about the play they just made? Not only did they win, not only did they only lose one person.
They got a bunch of weapons.
Exactly. You're reading my mind, Septilence. They were able to get a bunch of weapons off the ground for free. No one really has to buy here. And the person who is buying is Blitz is buying for Rexo, so Rexo doesn't have to spend any of their own credits here. Boom actually going to stick with the Spectre, which I find a bit interesting, but
Me too.
It's a save round for OC. I mean, they can't do anything. It's all Sheriffs or Classics. They're again going to try to be really aggressive, but
oh
this
my
Avatar is
goodness,
going to catch it out.
Shadow, what are you doing? What was the plan there? Shadow Core just pulled out the knife and ran.
It's the same they made it the second round. Just, we're going to save, so we're just going to run at them and hope that we can catch one out. They do catch one. But is one enough?
Yeah, you traded, so that 1 elim, is it going to be enough considering you lost someone at the same time? Now, you've traded out a Jet, and I mean, that's going to be, I don't know. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. That feels really risky, very boom or bust, and with the way OC's been playing so far, I think it's going to be bust.
I think right now, like, boom might be the right word. We talked about, like, mental boom and, like, the idea of, keeping your cool, keeping your mojo during a series like this, but the decisions that we've seen from OC, I don't mean to be like, yeah, they really are. I mean, the swaps on rolls just didn't really make sense. We were already talking about that a lot. You can tell, like, whatever momentum they had just kind of fell flat as they left Bind. And now they're playing kind of on a whim. It doesn't really seem like they know where to go. I mean, C is completely open right now, by the way. There is no one at C. Everyone from OC is at A. They're realizing this now, but it's not going to matter. There's going to be a free plant. And you still have a Killjoy who is on rotation. This could be a 3v3, but you got Sheriffs. What are you going to do? You got a Sheriff.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. You've got a Sheriff. What are you going to do? You're going to try. You're absolutely going to try. But best case scenario, you get 1 kill here before you're taken out. You just lose that firefight race. And I almost... I don't know what OC Esports can do here. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place in every direction. There it is. You get 1 kill, but you get traded out. Ricky finding a third, looking for maybe even a fourth, has to reload. Probably going to go for the wall bang instead. Might get wall banged. Keo getting a little bit aggressive, but with a Sheriff, the odds of you winning this fight just feel so low, and you don't even get the chance as Boom comes around that corner and finds that kill. Converse going to go up 4-0 here. This is very clearly the roughest start we have seen for either team here tonight.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead we've seen so far. Generally, at this point, we've been, I think, 2-2 the other 2 maps every single time. So we usually are used to being tied or at least close to a tie at this point. This is a pretty big lead at the beginning. I mean, 4 rounds again, nothing you can't come back from, but 4 rounds in a row at the start, It's pretty big. And now you're seeing that OC, they can buy, but they're going for some drastic buys here as Shadow Core is going to be going to the operator. But again, we have not seen them on the Jet. They have not been the Jet player up until this point. So do they have the mechanics? Do they know how to play with this operator? They can be so dangerous, but in the wrong hands, it could just be the wrong combination.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And wow, Shrony, risky as heck, but I mean, it worked out. And Shrony even gets taken offline there by Wildfire. The Neural Theft will get used by Path as well. So this is going to be a great opportunity. Maybe OC turns this one around, but Wildfire going as far as committing a Hunter's Fury onto B. Path will be taken offline. Keo finds Boom, but Blitz picks up that Vengeance kill straight away. A 2v2, the defuse is coming through. Blitz might be able to get a long distance choke there, but no, instead it's going to be Entry who finds that kill. A shock dart onto Shadow Core. We're looking at a clean 1v1, and it will be Blitz who emerges victorious. I feel like every round OC Esports is getting closer to winning, but again, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
It does, and although they do get some economy off the table for Converse, everyone's so healthy. I mean, I think the lowest I saw before the buy was like 6K. That's a lot of credits at your disposal. You're fine. I think they actually just bought for Rexo. Now is going to be sitting on a lot more going into the next round. Just a great way to finish that off. It looked like OC had an opening. It looked like Converse might have overstepped. They ran in. They got stuck. And that was an amazing, I mean, Shrony getting that kill. That was incredible. Wow, Leered. I mean, you don't see that every day, but doesn't matter. They still fall 5-0. Only one ultimate is the Seekers. Converse has 3. I mean, this is one round away from having it at least tied, and Shrony's on a prayer right now, 1 health.
Yeah, Shrony is certainly on a prayer here. I'm anxious to see what comes of it here. I'm really curious to see what comes of the round after this, as well as it has officially been confirmed that UC Davis has secured their spot in Grand Finals over BZNZ. So whichever team here that loses will be facing the absolute powerhouse that is BZNZ in that fight for third place. But one of these teams has to lose first. Entry finds the Bucky kill onto Rexo. Boom with the Phantom is going to be able to pick up Entry afterward, even committing a lockdown to win the round. Converse, they are desperate for this one.
Yeah, they want to get to at least that draw. They want to probably get even more than that. I mean, this could be 12-0 if it continues to go like this. There were trades. It wasn't 1-for-1. They did get 1 kill with the Bucky, but in the positioning right now from OC, they've got no way to really enter the point. They don't have the firepower to really do anything. And now they've been caught out. I mean, so many people are weak on their side. That's going to be it. Wildfire might be able to get 3 when all is said and done. I mean, we haven't even talked about Wildfire swap to the Sova after being on the duelist rule. I mean, they were on the Raze as well as the Reyna. So
Yeah.
Converse, they made a swap, but it was not as many. They didn't change the full
they
team
made
around.
a swap versus OC Esports making 4 swaps. So that's definitely going to be unique, to say the least. That's going to be something to keep an eye out on.
And it's interesting because Rexo was the one who was usually on the Sova, but even despite that swap, and Rexo, unfortunately, not doing the hottest on the team, but the team is still doing well. So 6 assists, you'll take that any day of the week. Wildfire, despite being off the duelist, still fracking out 10-1, top of the leaderboard, already double digits after 6 rounds.
A Hunter's Fury from Keo. I mean, we're looking at a scenario where OC Esports, they need a round win. The best worst-case scenario for them right now is 6-6 at the half, and I hate to say, but that almost feels impossible with how poorly OC Esports has been performing here on Haven. They almost feel like they are just stuck. It might be the mental boom of being so close to a 2-0 and losing it. It might be just the scenario of all these agent swaps. The team doesn't know how to perform. I really feel for OC Esports here. I'm not sure what they can do.
Hogman Divide's going to come out. Seeker's coming out as well. So right now, OC Esports, they're trying to make a stand. They might be able to. They find 2. Only 2 people left alive for Converse. I'm not sure they have any way to see the spike. They're on the other side. Able to get 1. Able to get 2. It's a 2v1. Boom. Can Boom find the final kill? They can't. Boom. What the heck was that?
Boom goes Converse. The dynamite.
How did they keep winning these? They should not have won that. But OC, they don't make a move. The Cosmic Divide, they think it's their safe haven. Might have actually been what condemns them to a round loss. They feel safe behind it, and that might have been their undoing.
Yeah, that very well may have been their undoing as well. I think you said it best, Converse. They can't keep getting away with this. I mean, they just time and time again have won these rounds that feel like they really should not have been able to. OC Esports, they've got to do something because right now we are looking at 13-0 in the face.
That's our 3rd tactical pause on our 3rd map. My guess is that's probably coming out from OC as they try to regroup. They're going to be facing at least a disadvantage of 5-7 at best, based on what we have so far through 7 rounds. 7 rounds in a row, folks. I mean, I've only seen it once throughout my casting career, and every time I say it, I feel like I jinx it, so I'm actually not going to say it, but you know what's on the table right now. Converse is very close to achieving what could be a fill in the blank.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've only seen it once ever, and that was actually here at UPL. I'm not going to say it because it very well may happen, but Converse, I mean, at best case, we're looking 12-0 at halftime. I mean, that's wild to say the very least.
The fact that it's like a possibility after 7 rounds is pretty insane. Like you usually see that go out the window after like 2 or 3 rounds, but here we are, still have ultimates, still have a gunfire advantage. I mean, on the other side, you've got a Guardian. And the Guardian is a fun gun, honestly. I like semi-auto weapons and FPS shooters, but like I feel like that's just the telltale sign of like GG. But not if Shrony has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Shrony there shows us he does not need a semi-auto. He only needs a bolt action. I think that's technically a bolt action. Either way, we got the Hunter's Fury coming out from Wildfire once again. This is the first time I can comfortably say Converse is at a mild disadvantage, right? They've got the player, the number is gone, the Empress is offline. But OC Esports, they've really struggled to capitalize in moments like this. They're really going to have to find their footing here because this is starting to feel like a now or never moment.
Yeah, you commit the Blade Storm. I feel like, maybe you save it for rating day, but this might be the right move. You do have the numbers advantage, like you said. If you can find another 1 or 2 picks here just with this Blade Storm, that's a worthwhile trade. 2-for-1, you'll take that any day of the week. Wildfire is going to get a bit of information, it looks like. They might be moving off of this point. Wolf going to be taken down. I mean, they're still looking towards it, but look, I mean, the rotations are all over the place. I was going to say, boom, where are you going? Now, this is where OC knows they are in the driver's seat. And even though I didn't say it, Sebtones, I feel like the caster curse still came through.
I mean, talk about being in the driver's seat, right? Is OC Esports even in the same vehicle? Are they even on the same road as Converse right now? Because this is just absolute powerhouse for them so far. Shrony, however, may finally have something to say about that. Finding a 3K3 might turn into 5 if we're lucky. We may get our first ace of the series, which is crazy. Okay. Maybe not. Never mind. No shot, Ricky clutches. Okay, there it is. The thrifty round win for OC Esports.
Yeah, and I was going to say the perfect game was in the sights of Converse, but of course, as soon as we start talking about it, it goes out the window. And now we're going to see another tactical balls, this time actually coming in from Converse. So they might have some things to talk about after that one. I feel like they were a little bit too far forward, a little bit misplaced. Once Rexo died, they didn't really seem to know what to do. They looked towards A, and they tried to rotate through C to see if they could get any information there, but Boom was caught out, and they just kind of fell apart. But it is only 1 round, so...
Yeah, 1 versus 7, you've still got a pretty comfortable lead here, I think.
As I say that, though, I'm just thinking about every game we've seen so far and how OC has always found a way to get back into
They've got that
this.
clutch factor.
They do. I mean, it wasn't clutch enough on the last snap. It wasn't enough on Bind to take away the series, but it was enough on Ascent to put them in this scenario where they even have a chance to play for the grand finals. So can they come back? Again, at this point, they're playing for a 5-7. That's not bad at all, especially swapping to attack side. And I'm at the attack side is favored. This actually could be a dream scenario where they find a way to come back. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but every time I've doubted OC, they have found a way to make me eat my words, found a way to stay alive, and found a way to extend this game and this series as long as it possibly can without going to overtime.
That just seems to be their favorite activity, right? They are just making sure they are giving us a good show. And we've seen them crawl back from a 6-point differential, but again, they did lose that map 13-11. That was just Ascent, the map that that was Bind, the map we saw just minutes ago. But we've got to see if they win this round. I'll be back on that momentum train. I'll be back on that underdog train. But if Converse just immediately puts them down here in round 9, I mean, that may be all she wrote.
See how this goes. Rexo trying to push forward. They have the Empress pop, but again, they're going to be the first to fall. Ricky, though, able to find the trade. Path, though, not falling yet. It's a 2v2. But Shadowcore has the operator. We've seen this once before, but it did not find the value they were looking for. The first shot is going to be missed. And now, Septilence, the point has completely been set up for Converse, but as I say that, Boom goes down.
Boom falls. The spike has been planted, but at what cost? Now, you've got it in a great spot where it is truly put down for Converse. They are playing the defensive retake, and Shadowcore might get caught looking down C long, but that is not where you need to be looking, my friend. Wildfire finds one, needs to find one more. Looks a little too far, but no, there is the kill. Converse stops OC in their tracks before they can even take a single step. They are now only 5 rounds away from winning Haven. Already.
That's crazy. And another thing that's crazy is, I mean, Ricky still is doing really well, putting in a very solid performance on the Jet, 9-4-1. Nothing, to be upset about. Only 1 kill away from that 2nd spot, not only on their team, but in the lead report as all of the whole match. But Wildfire really has stepped up. I agree. Really come in clutch. And it's crazy because, I mean, they were putting in a good performance in the last map too on the Rays, but I feel like here, on this Soba, they've really found like where they're best.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Wildfire did not play Sova at all today, yes?
This is
is
the first map.
time, right?
Yeah, it was Reyna and Raze.
So you've got to wonder why. Maybe Sova has nothing to do with it. Maybe it's Haven. Maybe Wildfire just loves this map up, down, and I mean, just all possibilities here. But Blitz with another early spike plant. They're up 3-2. This is a good opportunity. Okay, wow. Wow. Nobody clipped that. Do me a favor. Don't let that stay on the internet. Shadow Core is probably not stoked that we just saw that. We don't want to give them too hard of a time, but Converse, they won that round. That felt like the most effortless round we've seen so far.
I mean, that's a bit of a meme if we're being honest, but Wildfire did get the information. They did figure out where Shadow Core was. And I mean, the operator is always going to be the biggest threat on any sightline. So cutting that off, being a distraction, being a nuisance, it works out. But I just couldn't help but laugh because I've never seen anything like that. But going back to Wildfire, it interested me because, yeah, you're right. They didn't play the Sova before. Why are they doing it now? I mean, they forced Rexo on it last time, which again, we did not like that on Binds. But they still did it. So, I'm not sure. Regardless, they're still up. They've got a huge lead. Looking for double digits. Very close to it.
Golly gee, Path just caught out there. Ricky able to find that kill. Maybe an equalizer. Instead, no, it's Rexo who picks up that second engagement kill. Ricky does find Shrony. And, I mean, no shot Converse is about to hit 10 points on the 11th round. That is just beyond insane.
I would actually argue there's a pretty big shot it happens, especially now that entry is gone. It might be a flawless as well. That I don't know why you used the lockdown there. I feel like you could have saved that for the next round, but
especially if there's still two left. You're up 5v2.
5v1 actually. It's only KO right now. KO does find Ricky, but it gets found out, so they're gonna go for the knife.
The knife kill. Oh, insult to injury, but mad respect nonetheless. I think KO knew it was coming. He turned his DPI all the way up and just spun in a circle. But Converse, if they can keep this momentum up, I mean, it is just Converse all day long.
OC does have ultimates on their side, though. 4 to use. They were giving the operator again to Shadow Core, but I don't think Shadow Core has been able to secure 1 kill. So they're able to get one with the operator. That's huge. That changes the game. Then you can kind of commit to using the neural theft. You've got the body near the Cypher. You can use Secrets just to set up an operator. There's a lot of possibilities here of what you can do, but you're just so far behind. The question is, does it matter?
I think that's a great question, and honestly, Jag, I don't know, man. I ain't got a darn clue. But what does matter is the timing of these ultimates coming out from OC Esports. So that was going to be the Cosmic Divide on the side of Converse, right? So OC, they're still sitting on 3 ults, one of them being that Cosmic Divide. So if they can utilize that kind of almost as soon as this one goes down from Converse, they can really keep the momentum they've found. But the Hunter's Fury here is going to be great. It's going to be a great displacer, especially when you pick up Blitz off the back of it like that. Going to be a best-case scenario for OC Esports here on the half. Where Rexo finds Shadow Core lined up in the back. Might be able to find one more. The Wolf is going to come out, has to reload, and now it's going to be a lot of damage all of a sudden. So this might be not too sustainable as the wallbang takes a lot off of both that Killjoy and that Reyna. Ricky, however, will find Path. Going to be a 4v3. This is going to be a tough turnaround, but it's certainly possible, even more so. Now this is turnaround, but entry, we are looking at another 1v1 in the face here. Is it going to be Wildfire? Is it going to be entry? Wildfire gets that information. He knows where entry's going to be. The Shock Dart does the damage, 19 HP. There's no way entry turns this one around.
Has another Shock Dart.
No!
They do find the kill. They might be able to defuse it. They actually should be able to. I think there's enough time. The spike has not gone nuclear just yet.
They're good. They're plenty good. 4.5 seconds. Nope, not even close. One of these days I'm going to get it. It's going to be super cool. I'm going to clip it. I'm going to put it on the highlight reel. But that day is not today.
No, and just there, I think, again, like, they didn't wait for the sound. They kind of just threw the Shock Dart out, and they were kind of caught with their pants down there. They had no way to really go into that firefight. They waited a little bit longer. They forced entry into an uncomfortable position where they had to go for the spike defuse. That's how you win that one, but it's just 2 rounds. It's not you're not given the win here if you win the pistol round. There is still a way for O back into this, but I believe that Converse has won every single pistol round up until this point. I know they've won every first pistol round.
That checks out. Yeah, that checks out.
I think they've won all of them so far. So let's see if they go 6 for 6.
We've got to wonder. We talk about a lot. You know, I used to think the pistol round was a bit of a coin flip, right? But I think it really comes down to just the mechanical skill of the players. There's no flashy abilities. There's no flashy weapons. It's about hitting those heads. It's about hitting those headshots, finding the kills. And I really want to see what Converse brings to the table here. However, it's going to be OC Esports with that first blood. The Jet picks up Rexo. 5v4 in favor of OC. Is this their time to shine? Only time will tell.
Boom, able to take out entry, but everyone's running on to C, and there's not enough people there, though it looks like the trades are going in favor of OC for the time being. 2v3. Shadowcore popping off, finally making this Jet work. It's just Boom in a dream, trying to recall the turret. They know where the spike is. That's a big thing right now. OC, they're kind of caught in an uncomfortable position, and that Jet is so low on the other side.
Oh, no shot, bro. 1v1, but no, it's Shrony who finds the win. OC Esports, they look every round. They look a 12-0 in the face, and they say winnable. They look a 9-1 in the face, and they say winnable. They are just keeping the momentum rolling here. Converse, they've got to derail this train before it finds its speed.
And it's found its speed multiple times. Every map we've had thus far, OC has made the impossible possible. It's still a very big deficit they have to overcome right now. 7 rounds, but they should be able to pick up another one here, make it 4-10. And then I think it's the bonus round that's going to be really important. If Converse loses that, that's really going to be the end of all things. But actually, I think that looking at Tab, I do think that Converse actually decided to commit a little bit here. I'm not sure if we have enough time to look at that. Maybe it was the other side, but that's going to be just someone going right over the top of Blitz, and Blitz is going to take out the spike carrier.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. The spike goes down just out in the open. Keo's going to approach. No, somebody's around the corner. Wow! Great reaction time there. Onto Blitz. Finds that kill coming through, and Boom instead may also go down. Keo just single-handedly storming C. Might even be able to find a spike plant off the back of it, but Path in the back line picks up a crucial double kill. OC Esports, that is 2 rounds in a row.
They found an opening there. Converse actually found 2 kills right off the bat, but they could not secure anything off of that. They were so weak. There's no healer on their side. So they just kind of have to back up, hope that they could get the rotation in time. They didn't. There was a flank coming out from OC. And, you know, just like we expected. I mean, I thought the final kill gun animation kind of sums it up. Wraps it up with a bow there. But now Converse are back in the running. OC going to have to go for a half-buy, a Stinger, a Spectre. Not everyone's getting the full auto that they want. So Converse, this is, if they lose this, that's when they start to get in trouble. That's when momentum has really picked up for OC.
They've got like a double digits curse. Every time they hit 10, they just forget how to play the game for a little while. And I don't know what that's all about, but I'm hoping they can really stall that out here because they were so aggressively in the lead. There was an 8-point gap at a certain point in time here, and now they just have not been able to have that same luck here in the second half.
We're going to see if Converse can close not only a door, but the entire series out. Is Rexo going to be given that gift? Shadowcore, what was that dash?
Sloppy. That dash was sloppy. And unfortunately for OC Esports, that may cost them the round. That's going to put Converse at 11. But I don't want to count my eggs before they've hatched, or whatever that saying is about chickens. I don't know. I don't live in a farm. Boom is going to be able to find Shrony. It's going to be a 5v2. Now, we've seen what Entry can do. Entry has been bonkers beyond comparison when they are needed most. But can they carry that same momentum here in a 2v5? It's going to come all down to that accuracy, just that mechanical gameplay once again.
They're going to get enclosed on. It's not a complete pincer just yet. They have not gone all the way in, but now there's only one. You're going to walk in and get a headshot, but can you find anything more?
Gotta
No.
get 4 more.
Can't do it. It's going to be Converse taking things up a notch. 2 more rounds, and they've done it. They will have won this, and OC, that was the round they needed to find a thrifty run in. They couldn't, but they're probably going to force. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. I understand why they're forcing, because you give up another one and you're going to have to win in overtime, and I don't think they want that scenario once more, but if they lose this, it's over. I don't think there's any probable way that they can win this. So this is really the most important round right here, folks. If OC can find a way to get this done, they do have 2 ultimates, they stay alive. They lose this, and Converse is almost guaranteed to go on to the grand finals.
Absolutely. Dare I say, Jack, that this may be a Herculean task for OC Esports. Dare I say it? This is a very difficult scenario.
Once was enough.
Turn around, like you said. Hey, I didn't get to say it. You said it this time. So once was enough for me. I just had to get it out there. And what a crap way to start. What an absolutely horrible way to start. Keo taken out in the back line, just immediately kissed goodbye. You've committed Blade Storm. You even use a blade to get rid of a. Oh my goodness, this is not looking good. Shrony is able to find that vengeance kill onto Rexo, but Ricky in the back line, what will he do? He'll find not 1, but possibly 2, and the Rhyme was all for nothing because Path found the kill. So looks like Path is going to be able to get that lined up. The tripwire is a little late. I'll say it. The tripwire feels a little weird at that point. Nobody's over there anymore, but I guess it's always good to cover your boundaries.
Yeah, but I don't understand what Converse is doing. This is a very winnable round now. They have completely overstepped their boundaries. There's no killjoy, so the turret is useless. I don't know why they went for that aggressive rotation. It worked one time, and I was like, all right, sure, why not? But why would you send a second person on the exact same flank? Again, overconfidence. It can really damage you late into a series.
Even the first time, it felt lucky. It really did. So the fact that they made that same mistake twice is just not a positive start there. Now Blitz is going to have to take out the dart. It just gets Blade Storm to the dome. Going to get flashed out there as well. Shadowcore has to put down the Blade Storm, but of course still has a fully loaded assault rifle at the ready. Wildfire, it's already too late. You can't win via defuse. Maybe you go for some elims on the way out, or maybe you just go for a save, and that certainly seems to be the case.
And I said that if they won this round, OC Esports is going to stay alive in this series. It's not a guarantee they can bring it all the way back, but it's a lifeline. And it's really just Converse there, overstepping, going way too far. They should have never been in that position. Like you said, the first time it just seemed lucky. It seems like,
Right.
kind of a niche thing to do. Doing it a second time, I mean, you can't be repetitive in a game like Valorant. These players, they're too good. They've practiced for too long to fall for those kind of tricks. And Converse just, they're the one throwing out the life vest at this point to OC. They're saying, hey, you want to stay alive and continue these maps a little bit? You can't do that. We've seen what OC can do. They could bring this back all the way.
Absolutely. We have seen them claw back from the jaws of defeat, and they're currently down by 6 rounds. We have seen them climb back from 6 rounds before, but with the way that we've seen them playing here on Haven, I'm not sure that's possible.
2 ultimates on either side as, again, a very quick dash onto the point. And again, Shadowcore going to be completely punished for it. Multiple times we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen just the constant punishment for that over and over, time and time again, and I'm really curious to see what Converse, what they really need to do to win this. OC Esports, they had a bit of an overcommitment early on. Things are going to be bleak here.
Yeah, they don't really have a full buy here. They do have ultimates. They could use the Cosmic Divide if they wanted to. They could use the Empress. They do have a person advantage. They're going to use the Cosmic Divide. Actually, it's the other Cosmic Divide that comes out. How do you really do anything here? You just don't have the buy, have the numbers, but really no way to get onto the point.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation. There's no way to get out on the point. And Alir comes out. Path does find Boom. Ricky dies to fall damage. Path, oh my god. What just happened? What even was that?
This series has been so good. I just want everyone who's joining us right now to see. If you have not watched the entirety of the series, go back and watch the VOD. Because the 2 maps before this were insane. This map is, I feel like it's kind of starting to just break down. I mean, it's been a very long game. We've had 2 maps that went 13-11, so doing a quick map there, that's what? 48 rounds, and now we're on to 17 rounds. That's 65-ish. It's been a lot of rounds. This game has been going on for a very long time, so maybe players are getting a little tired, but oh my god, Ricky!
Ricky ain't getting tired enough. The collateral double kill coming through there. I mean, that is just... Talk about cracking a fight wide open. Is that Ricky's first time with the operator so far? I feel like... Or no, there was some at the beginning, so it's certainly been a while. Ricky is going to be able to find that kill. Takes out the Owl Drone as well. The patience of a sniper trying to find that kill when they need it most. Converse, they might be able to hit 12 here.
They might be 1 round away. They have ultimates too for the next one, but this one is still going on. Only 1 person alive. Shadowcore going to be stunned up, can't find the shots. Now Converse going to be on that match point, and they did something that they didn't do last time. They didn't do this on Bind, and they've done it twice here now, where they've played patiently. They're having some fun here now, as the spike is getting counted down. Hopefully, they do go for the defuse. There we go. They might even get the lockdown online. No, not going to get it just yet, but they played very patiently instead of forcing, and when they didn't need to, they realized that the lead was big enough where they could still take a round or 2 loss, and sure that you worry about OC's momentum, and maybe they can come back, but you're not wasting utility. And even though they had some very interesting plays, that's the best way I'll describe it, some plays that I would not suggest making, especially with those flanks and rotations where they'd be kind of in the other spawn, they kept everything they needed going into what now could be the last round.
Yeah, I mean, this is so terrifying. Honestly, this could be the last round for them. There might be a possibility to turn this around. There may be a way to win it, but not sure we're going to be seeing that way quite yet. Ricky might be able to find the Owl Drone early, so they get a little bit of recon. The Sova's going to be on his way. You've got a Neural Theft, you've got a Hunter's Fury, but honestly, I'm really struggling to see how OC Esports comes out on top of this round. I guess that's a great way to start. Shadowcore is going to be able to find that kill onto Boom, but they're going to need a lot more than that to win this one.
Is it enough? No, it's not. Rex able to find one, able to dismiss themselves. Ricky able to trade out before taken out. It's a 1v1. It's the Aster 1v1. This is what we've been asking for, right? Blitz weak, but does have their ultimate. Actually, it's going to be coming out from the other. No, it is coming out from Converse. So there it's going to be. Shrony has a little bit more health, but the Cosmic Divide is going to be cutting them off. And the thing is, they do not have the spike. The spike is Blitz is sitting right on the spike, perfect positioning. But can they find the perfect shots?
They're going to have to find these perfect shots right here, right now. And I just cannot wait to see what is going to be brought to the table here. Shrony, I feel Shrony's got that clutch factor. We've seen them do it before with both Astros pretty much at full health. One of them has to catch the other off guard. Oh, and Shrony might be the one to do it. Picks up the spike, but you give away your location! Shrony, no! It was no longer about the spike at that point, my friend. OC Esports. Shrony just not able to do it, but Converse Esports, talk about running away with a series. They emerged victorious 13-6, I believe, on Haven there. So winning 2-1 of the series and securing a spot in the grand finals.
You saw that Sharoni did a great job of spy checking the corner, but did not pay any attention to Garage. Thought they were probably either farther back on point, had already gone for the rotation after the Cosmic Divide ended. You can never assume in a game like Valorant. I feel like sometimes it's more of a horror game than a tactical shooter, because when you die like that, like you instantly jump out of your chair. Absolutely. Like, where did I even come from? And the worst part of it all was that was the last round. OC put up a great fight. They could have had a 2-0 victory. They could have had the most amazing comeback story of a lifetime in the series. They could not get that underdog story under wraps. Converse, the number 1 seed from the Vandal division, they're going to be going on to face the other number 1 seed, the undefeated, without dropping a map at all so far in UPL team, UC Davis.
That's going to be a scary one. Yeah, UC Davis, they are the powerhouse to beat. But, folks, we will talk about that when we see you next time. So thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. I have been Septilence, joined by the handsome and wonderful Jag. A huge shout-out to Grant, Hypertension, and Juke in the back line for getting the job done and giving us the observing and producing that we love the most. Huge shout-out to J2, just because you're a fantastic SMM, and I love you. I think you're a great guy. Unrelated. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Check your posture. Drink some water. Don't forget to love each other. We'll see you guys next time for Grand Finals. Get excited.